And Adam Green here with No More News. Thank you all for joining me today, Monday, November 3rd, 2025. Hope you all had a good holiday weekend with your Halloween. We also went to a Dia de los Muertos event as well. Huge stuff happened over the weekend. Republican Jewish Coalition had an event, and we're going to play all the clips, tons of clips there to talk about, tons of Christian groveling. It is so mask off. It really is such a crazy time, talking about the rise in anti-Semitism, attacking Tucker and Fuentes. We're going to cover all that, cover all the latest. A bunch of stuff happened over the weekend. Let's get right into it. First, a little cuteness, because I love them so much and they're so cute. I have to share with you guys. The cutest little wicked witch and good witch, the good witch and the evil witch for Halloween. And then the next day, little Encanto Dia de los Muertos girls. You're welcome. I was Jesus, no joke. I was the most popular costume in the whole neighborhood. I went to a different neighborhood, and there were some Mexican kids there. I swear, I'm not even kidding you. Little Mexican kids came up to me and started praying to me in Spanish. And every single group that we walked by was like, Jesus Christ, Jesus Christ. I'm not even kidding. A little kid started telling me Bible stories. It was crazy. Hands down, one best costume. Look at this though. I love this. This is some. Oh my God, that's loud. I'm sorry. Hold on. Let's turn this off. Audio on, down. Look at this AI somebody made of a picture I took of me as Jesus on the couch. Thor shape-shifting back to the dark side from Jesus. The pagan conversion right here. Pretty crazy, huh? That's good. It looks so real. Creepy times. Anyway, yeah, the AI is getting nuts. I didn't even make that. I don't know how to make these. This guy looks like Zero Tolerance made this. Pretty crazy. Look at this. Before we get into the clips, too, New York City resident who died saving pets from flooded basement is Torah man, quote unquote Torah man, who wore bizarre religious getup to court. And we got to zoom, enhance what is on his head, the 7 Noahide laws. We might as well call him the 7 Noahide law man, the Torah man. Right there, no blasphemy. Prohibits a curse directed at the supreme being, no idolatry. Prohibits the worship of any human or any created thing. Idols, occult. Understanding the oneness of God. And it has God with the dash, so the Jewish God. This dude, I never even heard of this dude before. Look at this guy. He died saving animals in a tunnel. That's the story we're being told here. Is he some type of animal rights activist? This guy put him in a Torah news. No more Noahide news. This dude with his Noahide law hat for the goy. They drag him into court. He wore this to court. He's like, I don't abide by the Noahide laws rule you, not Goyim laws. Was that his attitude here? The armor of God. Good one, Parhesia. Anyway, weird. It was a flood in his basement. He died saving pets in a flooded basement? That's insane. What a way to go. I just thought about that. Like, can't swim? What was he, holding his breath and going under? Titanic style? And then it went dark and he couldn't find his way back and drowned? To try to save his cats or dogs, I suppose. Crazy. Anywho, also hilarious. This is so hilarious. The Zionists are calling the Christian e-crusaders pagan. They're all got the talking point. They're calling Nick Fuentes and Tucker Carlson and all of these Christian e-crusaders pagans and neo-pagans. This is revealing what they actually fear most. They want you to be good Noahides following the God of Israel. What they fear actually is the rejection of the Bible. Listen to Josh Hammer here, who's central to the whole Candace Owens, Charlie Kirk conspiracies. I'm not saying he's involved. I'm just saying he's central according to Candace and everything that's been happening. He's been like one of the top Jews with all of this recent anti-Semitism talk. This is what he has to say.
Burn it all down and build some godforsaken, neo-pagan, anti-Western, anti-biblical construct in its place. Burn it.
See, neo-pagan, anti-biblical, which is not anti-Western. The West was built before Judeo-Christian West by the Greeks and the Romans. So to claim that you're anti-West if you're anti-Bible sounds like a Christian e-crusader talking point against that you try to use against me in debates, right? They say you're anti-white if you're anti-Jesus. Just like what he's trying to do right now. You're anti-West if you don't believe in Hashem.
Burn it all down and build some godforsaken, neo-pagan, anti-Western, anti-biblical construct in its place.
Doesn't that sound good? It's exactly what I want to do. Not the Groypers and Nick Fuentes and Tucker getting attacked by demons in his bed and the whole faction he's talking about. If only, doesn't this sound wonderful? Look, this is his worst nightmare. He thinks this is the worst thing in the world. Anti-Bible.
Burn it all down and build some godforsaken, neo-pagan, anti-Western, anti-biblical construct in its place.
No, be good Christians. You need the Bible, Ben Shapiro says. Do you get it now? Are you guys starting to get it? I know I need to turn this up. Is his audio a little quiet, you guys? Do I need to turn that up? I think I need to turn it up. If only, says Neanderthulian. If only. Oh, that's right. TTS, powerchat.live/no more news. Link is in the description below and in the live chat in Odysee and Rumble where we're streaming. Let me get that turned on. Josh Hammer also wrote in his article, he says they hope to burn down MAGA and build a neo-pagan, anti-Western, anti-biblical movement in its stead. Like, not anti-Western. I think that's pro-Western. It's de-Judaizing the West. But yes, that's exactly what I want to do. Not a neo-pagan where you believe in Thor and Odin, but where instead of believing Jewish fairy tales, we honor and revere the traditions and legacies of European peoples and our own original pre-Jewish peoples. Not the Jewish Messiah that was meant to conquer all the world for the God of Israel. So he says here that Tucker needs to be neutralized. It's so stupid. It's so funny, like vindicating. We could make a meme, guys. A meme where it's like the e-crusaders are calling us pagans, and then they turn around and look at the Jew, and then they call them a pagan. In fact, I think that already is a meme. We already have the perfect meme for this, guys. Who's on it? Do it. There is already a meme for this. I'm going to look for it when we're playing the video here in a second. But neo-pagan, anti-Western, anti-biblical movements. Pro-Western. It's pre-Judeo-Western. How about that? Before the Judeo-Christian West. Yeah, they try to act like quote-unquote paganism. Like remember the Roman science show? Greek and Roman philosophy and their science and engineering. And they go, oh, we'd have nothing without the Jews in their Bible. Like, fuck that shit. Forget about it. Forget about it. See through it all says, this is why I gladly accept the quote-unquote pagan label. This guy says, if you don't worship Hashem, the same God of Israel, then you're a pagan. No matter how loudly you chant Christ is King. Exactly. Pagan idolatry, as the Rebbe says of Chabad. Idol worship is anything that's foreign to Jews. So anything not Jewish is idol worship. Anything not Jewish is pagan. So you either worship as a slave the Jewish God or you're a pagan. You know, which way, Western man? This Zionist says, if you don't worship Hashem, the same God of Israel, the God of Zion, and his Moshiach, then you're a pagan, no matter how loudly you chant Christ is king. It's like, look at how all of the Christian-controlled crusaders, like I've always pointed out, are getting rejected, and they're calling you pagan now. As if you needed any clearer of an indication of what the paradigm is set up. Christ is the image of the God of Israel, the one who alone is immortal and who lives in the unapproachable light. Oh my God. Jesus without Hashem is an idol. Non-Jewish Jesus is idolatry, heresy. Pagan, thank you, hypostasize. Pagan equals non-Jewish. Yeah. And then these Christians use it as a slur against us. They go, you pagans, you new neo-pagans. You might as well just call us non-Jewish. Like, not interested in being spiritual Jews. That's what we are. Joel Berry, who has me blocked, the guy from Babylon Bee, he says, evangelical, Israel-friendly Christians have been the most reliable voting bloc against every moral insanity our country has faced, and it's not even close. The current effort by the pagan right, they're calling Fuentes the pagan right. Grapers, they're calling you pagans as a slur, and then you turn around also with the Jew in unison and call us pagans as a slur. And pagan means not Jewish. Do you understand what's going on here? Are you figuring it out yet? The current effort by the pagan right to ostracize them to protect Fuentes' pedophilic Nazi movement is literal insanity. Joel Berry, Babylon Bee. Evan Williams says, glad to hear the pagans finally being called out. Dude, that's funny. Every post, Evan Williams is in there, Yahweh's greatest soldier. Thank you, Neanderthalian. Good point. And also, the Christians call the Jews pagans as an insult. Exactly. They call them pagans. They go, they're pagan occult Khazarians and Babylonian witchcraft magic. Right? Strange Zone says, my heart wiener is bigger than yours. It is a big heart wiener measuring contest, isn't it, between these Jews and neo-Jews. Neo-Judaism and Judaism. If only this were true, Sovereign Bra says, we're all pagans now because we don't worship Israel. Yes. And we don't want women leading the movement. Are you serious? This is the latest smear. Joel Berry tells him, no, you're rejecting the American Christian right in favor of new pagan right with Christian aesthetics. If only. If only. Just drop the
Vrilzer sent $5 on Rumble.
Thank you, Vrilzer.
Fuentes condemns neo-Nazis and loves Stalin. Not our guy.
I think he condemns. I agree with Fuentes' criticism, actually, of the LARPing of that, and it's like, I don't know. I don't want to get into the nuance of this right now, but I agree somewhat with what Nick says about the optics and the aura and the and that type of thing. But yeah, Vrills are coming in hot. Also, I don't know that he's known as the biggest Nazi in America, so saying that he condemns Nazis because he's not a real Nazi, no. Vrilzer. Too far, Vrilzer. New pagan right with Christian aesthetics. Here, Sovereign Bra. Yes, you're a pagan. If you don't want to worship the God of Israel, which you do worship Israel. You believe in the biblical concept of Israel. Sovereign Bra. So, if you don't want to worship the King of the Jews, if you don't want to worship the Messiah, which is Jewish, a Jewish concept, if you don't want to worship the God of Zion, if you don't ever need to bow to Zion, you can't be a Christian. You got to go with the pagan. You get it? Am I wrong here? Or is this not? Is this as obvious to you guys as it is obvious to me? Headless Giant with the W. All of our guys in here with the W's. Wow, hold on. Frog Guy says, AG, the new Robin Hood, I guess a show. It says, first episode has the Sherwood Forest tribe all like, hail the old gods, down with the Christian monarchy oppressing us. Interesting. Yeah, the Hollywood, it likes to rub it in our faces, I think. Noah Hyde Nick says Taste of Truth. Yeah. I'll have to check that out. I didn't even know there was a new Robin Hood. When the book's done, I will... Or I'll just look for that clip, actually. You said it's in episode 1. I'll look for the clip. Headless Giant says, you're pagan because you won't affirm Jewish supremacy. Yeah, just drop the silly Christian aesthetics for the superior Germanic. Okay. Now, before we get to this is JNS interviews, I'm guessing at the Republican coalition, because this is a new clip. Mark Levine demands censorship. A whole lot of demanding for censorship lately. Real mask off.
And as far as deplatforming.
Or hat on. Small hat on.
We don't control whether somebody's deplatformed or not. But why would it be against it?
Yeah, you are, actually. Not you firsthand, although you can go on Fox News and advocate for it and pressure it. But yes, dude, it's the ADL. It is Jewish groups demanding censorship on social media. It is the former girl from the IDF at TikTok. It is Israelis that are involved with Facebook's censorship department. It is ADL colluding with all these people. We don't censor anybody, but we should. Like, come on. Already out of the gates, 13 seconds in, and this slime ball is already just like spewing bullshit.
How absurd. We don't control whether somebody's deplatformed or not.
Meanwhile, at the other JNS conference, the guy was like, we're the masters of the universe. Zuckerberg and Brin and Ellison and everybody. We run the internet. We run the world. Remember that? Masters of the universe. With the censorship. And then now they're like, that's absurd. How dare you say we're going to censor you? Even though like they brag about doing it and advocate for it all the time. I can't. It's going to be...
We don't control whether somebody's deplatformed or not. But why would it be against it? Let me ask you a question.
Why will we be against you being censored and deplatformed? How about we ban all the Zionists? How about we ban the Bible? Oh, you're against that, huh? Oh, why should we be against banning the Bible, Levin? Yeah, maybe we should.
There are things we do deplatform, right? You can't put pornography on network TV, can you? Why? It's immoral. It's horrendous. So we deplatform pornography. And things like that. We even deplatform cigarettes.
It's funny how, like, there were some Jewish porn people and non-Jewish that tried to use the First Amendment to get porn published. And then now they're doing the opposite. Oh, you can't do that. That's immoral. So we got to ban your speech, too.
And hard liquor. We're not going to deplatform Nazis and racists. Count me out. I can't control whether
racist. Hey, do Jews think that they're a race? Do Jews consider themselves a bloodline, a descendants of Jacob, a tribe chosen by God? How about we ban all of you for being racist supremacist? The Jew calling for the deplatforming of racist, what is he? He says Nazis. So how about we ban all of them?
The deplatformed. But I can pray and hope.
No, he gets paid tens of millions a year to host a show on Fox News and be syndicated radio all over the country.
Are deplatformed, and don't tell me that we have to engage them in order to persuade their followers.
Oh, don't have to engage them, just censorship. No debating, don't engage. To say he's not engaging, he talks about Fuentes all the time.
Why do we have to engage them to persuade their followers? We can go to their followers directly, the college kids and others. When you engage their leaders, you give them credibility. You're sanctioning them. I engage.
Dude, this guy's trying to say that you're not sanctioned to question the Israel-America relationship. We're not sanctioned to question all of our politicians going and paying fealty to a wall in Israel and believing that they're God's chosen people and all of this apex support on both sides. Questioning any of that, and he'll call you a Nazi and he wants you completely banned and nobody's allowed to engage you. Dude, they are... This guy is like the worst stereotype you could imagine.
Stereotyping Jews is terrible.
Them, but in a different way. Humiliate them. Condemn them. Expose them.
He just said don't engage them, and now he's like, name them, expose them. How do you expose them if not like addressing the claims? Proving the claims and the evidence and the arguments wrong. Is it just me, or is that completely contradictory? He just said don't engage them. So you're just supposed to slander and lie?
That's what I do. But that's
An
not what
attack?
other people mean by engagement. I ask you this. Would you engage such people at the dinner table? No. You don't want them anywhere in your house. Well, neither would I.
Dude, these are the guys that justified like the slaughter of how many dead Palestinian kids? Their attitude towards Muslims in the region, their attitude towards Europe. Dude, I'm
let's stop
sick.
pretending this is a matter of
disgusting.
free speech or civil liberties and all the rest.
Yeah, let's stop pretending that these goyim got free speech. Your civil liberties, you don't got free speech. We decide what your free speech is. It's not free speech to say that we have too much power. It's not free speech to say that our religion is supremacist and racist. It's not free speech to talk about all our politicians lobbying and Donald Trump getting $100 million from Adelson. That's not free speech. To question Jews, to criticize Jews. Dude, this guy is the peak stereotype.
They don't shut the hell up. It's not a matter of free speech. They never shut up, these people. They go on and on and on, and they talk and they talk, and they say one grotesque thing after another. It's not a free speech issue. It's not a civil liberties issue. Deplatforming something means it's a market issue. That people join together, organizations join together, and they say to the private company that platforms them, or the foreign country that platforms them, we're not going to embrace this. We're not going to listen to this. You deplatform them by destroying the market for them, not by entertaining them and promoting them, period.
Dude, these guys are so against free speech. So against free speech in the First Amendment, these guys.
Period. That's it.
That's it. Dude, how many times can they kvetch like this?
Let's have a blessed memory. You know what Dory Gold told me once? The great Dory Gold. For blessed memory. God bless him.
And we died?
Let's have a blessed memory. Amen. I had him on my radio show, what, honey, 6, 7, 8 years ago? He said something that stunned me. He said, you know, Mark, but for the Babylonians and the Iranians, Persians, the Romans.
Oh my God, they always do. Guys, anybody that's been watching my show for years, regulars, how many times do they all do this? We survived it. We outlived the Egyptians, the Assyrians, and the Romans, and the Greeks, and the Persians, and everybody, and they all wanted to kill us, but God helped us triumph over them. And now they're doing the same thing about America and the West and Edom. To the T. Speed them up.
The Spanish Inquisition, the Third Reich, and them all. Do you know there'd be 2 billion Jews in the world? bigger than the population of Red China today? Think about that. It'd be 2 billion. That's right. 2 billion Jews. Just a small number. And for some reason, we are on the minds of the haters, the genocidal maniacs, the evil people, on their minds endlessly.
How does he even argue that? How would there be 2 billion people? You think you can fit 2 billion people in Israel? What does he want to have 2 billion people in a greater? Maybe if they had a greater Israel, he's like, if all those empires didn't destroy us, we'd have our greater Israel. We'd have the promised land, and we'd have 2 billion Jews with the milk and honey. Yeah, and if World War II and World War I didn't happen, and all the Civil War and everybody, there'd be 6 gagrillion European people. You know what's crazy, too? Most of those stories, like the Exodus in Egypt, that's bullshit. Did the Egyptians likely enslave some Canaanites in the region? Probably. But the Exodus story is fake. A lot of these persecutions, the story of Persia and Esther, another fake story too. It's not real. You don't think we would have records everywhere amongst the Persians of that incredible story? The Jews slaughtering 70,000 Persians. You think that there's no Persian record of that happening anywhere, only in the book of Esther? Didn't happen. They're using fake past persecutions to justify what they're going to do to what they're doing in Gaza and the war they're waging on us, and what they're going to do to the West and Edom if they have their way.
Here's what they know, and I know. We're the first defense for Western civilization. We're it.
Dude, this is some weird, like, Kabbalah sorcery or something here. The fact that, like, we know how all of their religious rabbis say, a little redundant religious rabbis, the religious Jews say that about Edom represents Western civilization and has to be destroyed in their Messianic age and conquered, and it has to go down for Jews to go up. They're pretending to be the defenders of Western civilization, but they view their role as actually to be the battle axe that destroys Edom and Western civilization. When their Moshiach is going to do it too. That's what makes it extra super sinister. That's almost like a prophecy in Obadiah too. It says, like, the one that you least expect or that you took care of or your ally will betray you. So they're pretending to be the guardians of Western civilization, but ultimately the plan is to destroy Edom. And they all do it. And they go, you'd have no Western civilization without us. Another lie.
We're it. The Israelis are it.
We're it. Delusional schizophrenic. Let's see. So Barry Weiss, who just got bought out by Ellison for $150 million or $250 million. Must watch. Ben Shapiro does a 40-minute video. No to the groypers. No to the cowards like Tucker Carlson who normalize their trash. No to those who champion them. No to demoralization. No to bigotry and meritocratic horseshit. No to anti-Americanism. No. That was kind of that Ben Shapiro was kind of good.
Hey,
if I do say so myself, no.
Hey, folks, I
Not
want to do
bad.
something different on today's show. We're going to cover one topic in depth. That topic is, I think, the most important.
The neo-pagan fascist right. The anti-Bible, non-Noahide pagan right. We're going to talk about it.
In the
Spot
country. It was
on.
a hot topic last week, but I wanted to take some time to really gather my thoughts and speak on it in coherent fashion, holistic fashion. That topic is the fragmentation of the political right. That fragmentation is being...
We're gonna tell you what real MAGA is, okay, Goyam? You're pro-Israel and you get in line, or you're not MAGA. You're not America First. We are. We're America First MAGA. It's always been MEGA. It's MEGA now. Okay, I kind of lost it there.
caused purposefully by a splinter
Can we
faction of
speed
people.
him up? I don't know. Can does anybody listen to You only have to have the ultimate Ashkenazi IQ to do Ben
by a young
Shapiro
man
at
named
2x.
Nick Fuentes. They
Nick
call themselves
Fuentes.
the Groypers.
The
They're white
Groypers.
supremacists. They hate women, Jews, Hindus,
He's Mexican. They hate everybody. Hold
led
on.
by a young man named Nick Fuentes. They call themselves the Groypers. They are white supremacists. They hate women, Jews, Hindus, many types of Christians, brown people of a wide variety of backgrounds, blacks, America's foreign policy, and America's Constitution. They admire Hitler and Stalin. And that splinter faction is now being
Great.
facilitated and
Great. What leadership?
They kvetch about, they call the Jews the synagogue of Satan. They kvetch about Jews killing Jesus, but they needed Jesus to die so they could have their religion. They're disavowed by the Catholic Church and the Pope. He's like, I went and spoke to the Pope, and he told me Nick Fuentes not a real Catholic. He's excommunicated. Keep it up, buddy, and you're excommunicated.
He hates Hindus. Yeah, like they don't think Hindus are idolatry, but they're weaving their Noahide version of Hinduism, if memory serves correctly.
normalized within the mainstream Republican Party. The main
Mainstream.
agent in that normalization is Tucker Carlson, who is an intellectual coward, a dishonest interlocutor, and a terrible friend. And Tucker Carlson last week was aided
And
celebrated
a terrible
for
friend.
Nazism within the Republican Party by the mainstay organization of the traditional right, the Heritage Foundation. Now, before we explain what's been happening, let's make one thing clear. This is not about free speech or cancellation. It was never about free speech or cancellation. Free speech has a definition: the right to speak free of governmental coercion. I believe in it, of course. I've always defended it. Criticism of bad speech is, in fact, just a form of free speech. Cancellation also has a definition: the banning of particular people, including people like Nick Fuentes, from platforms like X or Facebook. I believe that Nick Fuentes is odious and despicable, but I've never called for his cancellation. And in fact, I've called for his restoration to those services, despite the fact that I think he's odious and despicable.
Okay, what about all the other rest of the Jews that have called for him to be banned, that have had him banned, and me, from almost everywhere? What does it matter if you condemn it? It still happened. You didn't stop it. You didn't start a campaign to get all the Nazis back on PayPal.
But I condemned it, and I never called for it.
Okay, but it happened, and it was a bunch of Jews, all right?
It is not cancellation to draw moral lines between viewpoints. In fact, we used to call that one of the key aspects of conservatism. It is not cancellation to refuse to signal boost Hitler's supporters like Nick Fuentes. It is not cancellation to criticize Tucker Carlson for rhetorically fluffing Nick Fuentes and other anti-American crackpots. It's not cancellation
Rhetorically fluffing, I'd say fact check true. That is what it looked like.
to urge others to stop promoting those who rhetorically fluff Nazi apologists. Those are all elements of free speech. And anyone who says differently is lying to you, and lying for the most cynical reasons, to misdirect from their own defense of those Nazi apologists and their promoters. The issue here isn't that Tucker Carlson had Nick Fuentes on his show last week. He has every right to do that, of course. The issue here is that Tucker Carlson decided to normalize and fluff Nick Fuentes, and that the Heritage Foundation then decided to robustly defend that performance.
We're not going to
Those who
do the whole
criticize
thing,
both
by the way.
Tucker and Heritage aren't canceling. They are quite properly drawing a moral line. So, for those who don't understand what's going on, let's begin with Nick Fuentes. Now, as I mentioned, last week, Tucker Carlson had on Nick Fuentes. Fuentes is a 27-year-old man who's dubbed himself the leader of a movement called the Groypers. He has a large audience of alienated young white men in particular, and he's earned increased media attention over the course of the past few years, especially...
Dude, to call the Groypers white men is a bit of a stretch. There's a whole lot of non-whites in the Groypers. It's a Christian supremacist movement.
They're white supremacist neo-pagan Nazis.
And in reality, they're Catholic, incel, virgin, mixed group.
over the last year. Now, from Tucker Carlson's interview, you might have gathered that Fuentes has some borderline views on race, a peculiar obsession with what he calls organized Jewry, and a rather sad relationship with the female sex. But probably you came away thinking that, for the most part, Fuentes lives on the radical edge of normality. You think that if you watch the interview, because Tucker Carlson decided that it was important.
Notice how it's all personal attacks. It's name calling and you're sex virgin stuff, not addressing of the actual arguments in good faith.
Not only to host Fuentes, but to smooth over his views, water them down, and make them far more palatable to a normal audience. As we'll discuss in a bit, this is what Tucker Carlson does for a living. But back to Nick Fuentes. To understand just what Tucker did here, we must actually examine what Nick Fuentes says on his show and has said for almost a decade.
Oh,
Because he
come
was asked
on.
Precisely
We're not going to do
zero
this.
questions about any of what you're about to see by Tucker Carlson. Nick Fuentes says women want to be raped.
A lot
Okay.
of women.
We're not going to do all, we know all the awful clips of crazy things Nick said over the years. I've posted a bunch of clips exposing Nick for different things he said over the years. Relevant to like the topics that I disagree with him on. But is that what we're going to do? It's just going to be, okay, let's show you all these clips he's ever said. All right, we're not going to do all that. I'll watch the rest of that later. Let's see. Oh, I forgot to mention for the Halloween thing. Did you guys see the president? It's so funny that Vance did his meme, the meme of him everywhere online, and then he went and did that character. It was really funny. If you guys know about that meme, let's see, where is it? There, this guy. They have like a fat version of him with long hair and a big beard, and he did the meme. Here it is. There's the original. Isn't that hilarious? He played into the meme of everybody clowning him. It's pretty epic. Pretty epic. JD had a big week. He took on all the groypers at TPUSA, and then he played into the meme. I'm thinking him doing the meme makes him the front runner in 2028 if Trump doesn't try to go for another term. As of right now, it's going to be like Gavin Newsom, RFK Jr., JD Vance. Don't you think? Or Trump for a third term. Okay. Let's hear Jillian Michaels, also the Zionist fitness lady, talking about Fuentes.
But Tucker, we've all seen him go after guys like Ted Cruz, and he did nothing. No pushback. And when you see Jordan Peterson warn
Newsom Spencer ticket, that's hilarious. Is that already the meme? That needs to be the meme. That needs to be memed into existence that he has to like disavow Spencer. That would be so funny.
about the woke right, and then you see guys like Dave Rubin and guys like Brandon Tatum and women like Chicks on the Right start to say like, hey guys, you cannot mainstream this. This cannot be normalized.
Oh, Brandon Tatum and Dave Rubin said it. Oh, I guess we can't discuss any of this.
I'm now coming out to say the purple people will not have this. And you are handing this win to the left, and the left are going to be the squad. And I'm so disappointed that the right is doing this. This is my shot across the bow. Do not normalize this behavior. This needs to be isolated, marginalized, and condemned. Period. End of story. I don't believe in deplatforming people. He should have his own show. He should do his own thing, and he can spew his vitriol in the dark crevices of the web. But when mainstream people on the right that are respected and have massive audiences normalize this, I promise you that party will lose in 28, and the ramifications are going to be catastrophic because I have
why are they going to lose in 28? Like, the left is anti-Israel, I thought. They go, the left's anti-Semitic. They hate Jews, the left. They don't support Netanyahu in Israel, and they're pro-Hamas. They're the party of Hamas. But then, if the right became more anti-Semitic, wouldn't they just steal votes from the left? Doesn't even make political sense, according to their own arguments and logic. Am I right?
That are respected and have massive audiences normalize this, I promise you that party will lose in 28, and the ramifications are going to be catastrophic because I have lived in Gavin Newsom's California, Eric, and it's bad news.
It's a threat, Need-More Amalek says. A threat that they'll throw the election to the left, who is like, it will also be under the arm of AIPAC. Is that what it is? Beverly Hills Yenta. Double smash, says the one state. If you look at Julian Michaels, when she was the one on Greatest Loser, I think. She got famous from being the fitness girl on Greatest Loser. Okay. All right. Randy Fine. Dude, look at this image. Tucker is not MAGA. Randy Fine, looking like he lost a little weight. The Jewish congressman from Florida that got the big endorsement from Trump had a bunch of people. Tucker is not MAGA in front. The faces of MAGA. Dude. They could not have gotten a more... It's like they cast a role for like Jewiest looking Jew fro. Oh, we're just having fun. We're having fun. Look at this. The face of MAGA. We're going to tell you who MAGA is. Be ready for the EBT apocalypse to come. Okay, let's see. If Harold Ramis had a son. Harold Ramis, isn't that Egon from Ghostbusters? Dude, that's so funny. Egon's kid from Ghostbusters. All right, here he is talking about Tucker.
Today, Tucker Carlson is the most dangerous anti-Semite in America. Multiple speakers have talked about the rise of anti-Semitism on the right. But it is not enough to speak in platitudes or generalities about the fight. We must call evil by its name. 5 years ago, if I was talking to my father, who's watching, hi Dad, if I was talking to my father at 8:59 p.m. at night, he would say, Randy, I gotta go. Tucker Carlson's gonna be on. But make no mistake, today, Tucker Carlson is the most dangerous anti-Semite in America. He has chosen to take on the mantle of leader of a modern-day Hitler Youth. To broadcast and feature...
Come on, dude. These people are so hyperbolic, dude. Dude, talk about, like, alarmist. Trying to be alarmist. The Hitler Youth, Tucker Carlson. Come on.
Take on the mantle of leader of a modern-day Hitler Youth. To broadcast and feature those who celebrate the Nazis, those who call for the extermination of Israel.
He has a podcast.
To even criticize President Trump for stopping Iran's nuclear ambitions. Today, Tucker Carlson.
Dude, such a what would you call this? Like a media stunt? This is the media stunt. It's just like they did with Buchanan. Remember they ran up on the stage with Pat Buchanan with signs saying Buchanan is a racist. Some of the small hats. Tucker is not MAGA. Look, they fixed it. That would be fixing it if it was more accurate. That's hilarious. Good job. Whoever did that. Commit war crimes. Play the victim. Here's a little
because
more.
It's easy. But I'm here for the kids down here. Because it's easy to talk about anti-Semitism on the left. I want to talk about the dark force rising on our side. Multiple speakers have talked about the rise of anti-Semitism on the right. But it is not enough to speak in platitudes or generalities.
We heard this.
The most dangerous anti-Semite in America.
Guys, look, Adam King just told me he was on Alex Jones. I just saw a message from a while ago.
Was given an Air Force base.
Breaking, Adam King on Alex Jones for the first time ever.
Blew my mind.
No,
like,
they're training the pilots there. That's standard.
Let's see. He messaged me this 15 minutes ago.
We're not given an Air Force base. Since the 50s, we train over.
Oh, that's right. Somebody told me that Jones is doing like an all-Jew talk today.
Nations. They got a couple barracks there to train their people. No, I know the headline says they gave him a base. That's not true.
Well, that's news to me. That makes me a lot happier to hear that you're saying it's not true because
I wonder if he had this is like him on as a guest, or is he like debating a bunch of Jews?
How do you think we train everybody on the weapons?
I know that Qatar put in $243 billion to our university to fund DEI when
and they definitely are giving us a new Air Force One. So I get it. But I'm saying, I'm not saying there isn't a Muslim influence. My God, I'm simply saying when I look at who gives to Mondami, I don't see any Qatar money. It's Soros. It's the left.
I got all these clips of Jones talking about Muslims running everything and buying everything.
Recently, Newsmax just broke the story yesterday on foreign money that Mamdani is taking. So we don't really
that. Send it to me.
You know, American politics are kind of like after it happens, then we'll go back and see if it was illegal or not.
All right, we're out of time. Adam King.
Oh, that's it?
We'll find you.
Alex, I just want to say one more thing. You get it from both sides.
Oh, he's mad.
It's really unfair. They attack you. The Jews call you an anti-Semite. The Nazis call you a Mossad agent.
Yeah.
It's really not fair. You're stuck in the middle of this thing.
He's like, I gotta go. I gotta cut a break.
Dispel this thing and unite the right. You specifically have this power to unite our movement and to bring it back to the roots of MAGA and the big tent that it was.
Yeah,
so
well, here's
really
the deal. I just call balls and strikes.
I just call balls and strikes.
And cultures.
That's his line.
Literally. Oh, right now I wanted 10 times the viewers. I put on a Hitler outfit. It'd be, I get that's going on.
He did the Hitler mustache. He already did that.
The exact way you'd act to make this explode. There's an evil force behind it. We're going to expose it. I ask how people find you.
Dude, have me on to expose the Judeo matrix, bro.
_Jew
Jones
_ on X and at the Adam King Show on X, which is like a censored account. It barely exists. I can't even get any traction there. At the Adam King Show at YouTube and Rumble, and at
there's something behind it.
Page. Go to
yeah, you're part of it, Jones. Promoting a Jewish Messiah, you're part of it.
All right, so you got your points out.
You got your points out.
Thanks. Thank you. All right, I want to jam in more calls ahead of a special guest joining us in the studio. Randy Fine saying,
we can rewind it.
Returned. He's risen from the grave.
Home energy, if that makes.
Never turned down a debate. Steel sharpens steel. And on our side,
is the reincarnation of Adolf Hitler, as we're hearing, got Jefferson Davis to do what he did and all that. We're mainly Jewish. I know all that. My point is that you just think.
Yeah, I rewound it.
Where do you see this going? What's ideal? If we just say Jews are the fountain of all evil, instead of just having a better
Jarrett
system,
sent $5 on Rumble. 6 out of 8 Ivy League presidents are Qatari. And Jews are so suppressed online, King.
I know. The deflection onto Qatari influence, as if that explains why everybody feels these things about Israel.
And
no. Clipping what, Amalek?
Promoting a new expansionist.
Unite the right?
Where does this end? Yeah. I mean, how many times do we need to say the Jews are the fount of all evil? And when does it magically make them, like if you were God, what would you do with the Jews right now?
Well, I can tell you I'm not God, but the world is not my home. I don't live.
Dude, why is that always his line?
Like you said,
if you were God, what would you do? Well, I want Jesus to come down and fulfill the prophecy, and then they'll all believe in him. That's Jones's plan. That's his answer to the JQ. That's the Christian answer to the JQ, right? Jesus is going to come down once they have their Antichrist. Then we'll be persecuted. The church will be persecuted.
I think this is what you've been trying to stop, is the stance.
Legitimately only cover the facts here. Thank you, Skeptic, for the call. I'm going to go back to all the other callers, Mark and Paul and Cameron and Daniel and Al Killer and others here in a moment. But this fella, I remember him. I think I've interviewed him a few times.
Here we go.
Big thing with the Nazis, because we have banned out video. So anybody banned, we have 500 plus contributors. Anybody banned on the internet, was even if I didn't agree with them or on everything, would get a banned out video channel. So then would say, oh, look, this Adam King, he works at InfoWars and Jones works for Israel. No, we had a lot of diverse people on there. That's what we do, just to get that straight. But I remember who he is. And he was talking to my producer, wanting to get on. I said, well, I'll just get him on Zoom. So Adam King, otherwise known as Awesome Jew on X, is an American First Jewish patriot and banned video host, former diplomat, and inventor. He also possesses the ashes of the red heifer. So I wanted to get him to pop in.
So we've got all that. Oh, dude, he added the red heifer ashes to his bio.
Can't be avoided now. I've been trying to avoid it to not add fuel to the fire because I think it's an overall distraction.
Here we go.
But whatever, this is the way it works. So obviously you were listening earlier. I'm inferring, and so you wanted to chime in on what?
Yeah. Sorry, Jones. He's saying that I'm a Nazi because I noticed that a Kabbalah Jew that no one have heard of was hosting on InfoWars. He didn't just have a banned.video show. He was hosting Owen Schroyer's 4th hour or like guest in fill-in host. That's where I saw him.
We're discussing it. And first, let me just ask you, it's good to have you here. Do you believe Tucker Carlson is the reincarnation of Adolf Hitler, as we're hearing from Republican congressmen? Do you believe he is the #1 danger to Jews in America, or do you disagree with that?
He's going to say yes.
Well, Alex, first I want to say thank you for having me on when I was censored from every outlet in the entire free speech world, the only place that would have me was banned video. So I'm very grateful always to InfoWars and banned video.
Well, we think pro-Israel folks deserve a voice when they're being censored, which is a question. Why would you be censored before? Yeah.
It's funny because the truth is I get censored on X a lot, and Jewish voices, including your friend Andrew Mayer, just got kicked off of X for the most benign things. Whereas people are allowed to goose step the Fuhrer all the time on X. Jewish people who want to contribute and push back on the echo chamber get censored on X, which kind of ties.
You have both your accounts though. You're not censored.
Having about Tucker and other dubious things, that are out there.
Yeah, that's the real. We got our main concern is Jews being censored.
Is Tucker the reincarnation?
Huge concern.
I wouldn't speculate that. I didn't think
Trump
Candace Owens was going to go down this path. I was out there saying when Rabbi Shmuley was saying that Candace Owens is an anti-Semite, I was saying no, she's not. No, she's not, and I was wrong about that too. So Tucker does say some things that are very alarming. Is he the reincarnation of Adolf Hitler? I don't know. No, definitely not. Is he
definitely not?
Is he one of the foremost leading anti-Semitic voices in the media today? Absolutely. And his anti-Semitism is very sublime. It's done in other passive ways. For instance, like the Tucker Carlson show became the Jew show. Every episode is about Jews and Israel. So much so, if there's nothing in the news to LARP about Israel, he has some nobody nothing on his show to make up stuff about the Kabbalah that's not true, just so he can keep the grift going. So
now, Adam, hold on. I'm a big fan of Tucker, so I watch at least parts of all his shows. He had the Republican congressman was just pardoned on. It was none of. I mean, he has guests on constantly that isn't about Israel. You're saying every show is about Israel.
Actually, doesn't field any opposing perspective from the actual camp of the Jews. He'll have Ari Shafir.
No, but I got you on. Let's go back.
He had Ted Cruz on.
Yes, that's not true.
I didn't say every guest. I said almost every guest. His show is largely about the Jews now. We know he could talk about many subjects. I loved Tucker. Tucker was.
I don't want to hear about Tucker.
Talk show host
Look at this. Everybody's been telling me. They did this before too. I forgot why this was in. Oh, when he was getting into office or Trump endorsed him or something, they shared this. But InfoWars using my viral clip online of Randy Fine.
It's been 5 years.
Talking about banning the shit because the things that GDL was doing.
Here is Randy Fine successfully ramming through legislation that is completely unconstitutional and dangerous. Here it is.
Holding people.
They had done this before. This video online got lots of people were mirroring it and not retweeting me and taking it from me.
Without violating.
Watch my logo pops on in a second.
Remind you that there's no First Amendment right to conduct. There's a First Amendment right to speech.
Look, there it is.
We're targeting.
This is so funny because for years I was clipping up Jones and then I would put my logo over his logo in my compilations exposing him for being a Zionist gatekeeper. And then now it's reversed, and he's got his logo over my logo.
Are not speech. Again, if someone wants to stand across the street from my house and wave a sign on the sidewalk,
got him.
Right to do that, and this bill won't have anything to do with that. But when it veers into conduct, and so the way we're going to approach this is through a hate crime kicker. So if you graffiti a building, it is a crime now. But if your motivation is hate, it will be a third-degree felony. You will spend 5 years in prison. If you want to litter, it's a crime right now. But if you litter and your motivation is a hate crime, it will be a third-degree felony. You will spend 5 years.
So this is where he's tried to outlaw flyers and banners, and I think projecting images on things in Florida with felony things. So right there on InfoWars, Jones showing the No More News logo, although the beginning is blocked by his logo. What's up, Jones? When's the debate happening, dude? You gonna dodge me forever? Do I gotta call in again to call you out for your Jesus shilling? How you're a Moshiach shill? Anyway, thanks for bringing that up. I was meant to look for that.
And then everything just became about the Jews. So the question is this the tent this all-inclusive tent of the Republican Party. MAGA was so all-encompassing. I'm not even an ally to the gays, but Trump hugged a gay flag on stage to make the tent bigger. This tent that Tucker's casting is very small, and it's funny because Nick was talking so much trash about Tucker for a very long time, and then he came out today with a post and said, if you talk trash about Tucker, you're not America first. And it's like, this guy was allowed to talk trash until he was platformed by Tucker, but Tucker has yet to platform any real credible voice from our side. So if he wants
well,
to
I can tell you in my conversations with Nick, there's been so much you can't talk about Israel and whites are all the devil from the left. I'm like, hey, I agree, Nick, it's just free speech. But I was like, we need to de-escalate this, not make this the main issue. I was the one when those two were literally, Tucker was calling threatening to kick his ass and stuff. I was like, why don't you interview him? It'd be a big interview. So I guess I'm the bad guy but I mean,
yeah, Jones set it up.
Done with political correctness. I'm going to say that there's different Israel lobbies, shouldn't be getting in the middle of it and then trying to censor because that's only going to make this bigger. I think having AIPAC and all this coming against Tucker.
It's the biggest thing now. Have I not been saying that anti-Semitism and Jews is going to be the central issue in our political and cultural discourse? Is it not intensifying it even more, being centralized and talked about? This prophetic rise in anti-Semitism in Edom in the West, and their calls for now, I covered in the last show, they got to make Aliyah and go back to Israel because it's not safe in America anymore. We got a new clip of them talking about that on a podcast, by the way. I'm going to play here in a second.
Just 10 times bigger.
There's this thing on the right.
It's all being amplified.
It's like you're damned if you do and you're
by the algorithms.
Damned if you don't. Everybody wants to hate on Randy Fine because he's Jewish. Randy Fine just made the disqualifying dual loyalty act. It's the first time ever that an act has been put to Congress that attempts to ban dual citizenship from any sitting member of Congress. That was 2 weeks ago. This is Randy Fine, the guy who everybody constantly LARPs on. Why is it that
I didn't know that. Wow, he introduced a bill to not allow dual citizenship in Congress?
What was that?
I didn't know that. Wow, he introduced a bill to stop dual citizenship.
2 weeks ago. And that's what I'm saying. Like, as a Jewish patriot in America, I'm like, why can't these people just it's like they don't want us in the camp. So when Randy Fine does something good, he's still the most evil guy. He went on Piers Morgan the other day, and Piers jumped him with Cenk Unger. He didn't know Cenk Unger was going to be there, but he jumped him. Now, Randy Fine is a sitting member of Congress. That's inappropriate that Piers Morgan is going to foist a debate on a sitting member of Congress. I think Randy Fine versus Thomas Massey is an appropriate debate, but the media...
anybody could debate Fine.
The left and then the globalist and Mondami and all that are 100% want to destroy Israel, and they're now allying with right-wingers, pushing it and promoting it, and very, very happy because they think that, oh, my God, Jews love the Democratic Party. If we get the Republicans to attack, too, they'll come back to us. I do think that's going on.
Also, Trump would never have won in 2024 if it wasn't for Republican support. Also, 2020,
you mean Jew support?
I was extremely
involved. You mean Republican Jewish support?
2020, 2024.
You mean Republican Jewish support?
Exactly. Give credit where credit's due. Would you be happy living under communist Kamala? No. So why can't? Why?
No, I said that in the first hour. I said I'm thankful.
Everybody wants to disavow because he supports. Israel.
No. I did say in the first hour I am thankful that a lot of American Jews woke up and voted for Trump. So I said Jews put him over the top.
This is like a little confrontational.
And also, to the credit of Miriam and Sheldon Adelson, these people have $100 million earmarked for every Republican election moving forward. That is a tremendous assistance to our conservative tax, lower taxes, domestic production, America First movement.
Fine talked a shit about Cenk, and Piers brought him back on to face him. Oh, okay.
And that money's going to...
I missed that. That's right. I hadn't even seen that. How did I miss that? There was no clip. Did you guys know that? See through it all? Nemor Amalek, are you here? Jumped him. Yeah. Did you guys even see that clip? I didn't see Cenk versus Randy Fine. That happened last week.
Earmarked for the winner of the Republican primary. Now, one thing that we do on the Republican side that the Democrats don't do is debate. I've debated Fuentes twice. I debated that lunatic Stu Peters 3 times. The list goes on and on. I've never turned down a debate. Steel sharpens steel. And on our side, we're constantly having that debate. I want somebody, now that Tucker has platformed Nick, I'd like to see Tucker platform somebody actual credible from the opposing.
Hey, I bet you money Tucker would have you or somebody on.
It doesn't have.
Dude, what if Jones gets Adam King on Tucker?
If we're gonna nip this thing in the bud, Alex, and continue with our America First, because the Democrats want to dissolve the MAGA movement. They want it to be dissolved in year 1 of Trump version 2. We still have 3 more years.
Watch the Shabos RJC speech.
With this power vacuum trying to come in and dictate the Republican Party. And I like Dinesh D'Souza, but he's like, oh, we're all racist. Everyone's going to... They're the ones giving all this attention. So, see, it's both sides that are doing this.
Also, that in Israel, Trump is dictating to the Israeli government what to do constantly. And it's causing tremendous backlash and fallout because Bibi Netanyahu is being accused of not having sovereignty in his own country. So it's both arguments on the same time. Everybody wants to LARP and say, oh, Netanyahu controls the Congress. It's just not true. They say, oh, Netanyahu made us go to war in Iraq. He wasn't even prime minister then.
He advocated in Congress for it. He called for it and wrote it in his books for years before that, to have a war with the West on Islam.
Congress, but that wasn't during the war in Iraq. That was some other prime minister.
Well, certainly there were a bunch of neocons that weren't Jewish.
Thanks.
Yeah, that was.
Oh, Jones, come on.
Israel. No. It's clearly Israel's usually aligned with what the CIA wants to do. It's not the other way around.
Oh, come on. Exactly. Clearly it's the CIA. I mean, dude, Iraq was bombing Israel. Of course they wanted to take out Saddam. That's the exact word of Netanyahu in Congress. He was like, if we take out Saddam, I promise you it'll be better in the Middle East.
Exactly. Israel is kind of like a vassal state of America. It loves America. It celebrates the 4th of July. In the Middle East, it's the only country that celebrates the 4th of July. It's the only democratic country in the Middle East. This constant LARP and need to vilify Israel.
Would I rather go on Tucker or Rogan? Rogan, for sure.
It's very serious. I have James Lindsay coming on the show on Thursday. He just got back from Israel. I offered a lot of people to take them to Israel. When Owen worked for you, I offered Owen. I offered a bunch of people. And they said, oh, I'm not going to take a Hasbara fellowship trip. No, go there. I'll take you to Ramallah, too. You'll go. You'll see.
No, you won't.
Decide for yourself.
You won't go to Ramallah.
Let's be clear. I don't go a lot of places because I'm so busy and because I'm not scared, but it's like, I've been invited to Egypt. I've been invited by Putin to, literally go to dinner with him and Lavrov. I haven't done it just because stuff's so hot.
What, dude, need more Amalek? See through it all. Did you just hear that? He got invited by Putin to go meet with their top brass. Dude, Adam, I've told Adam about Jones and his Russian connections and all these Duganas. He knows. He's thinking, oh my God, wait till Adam hears that. That's the face when Alex Jones tells you got invited to go have dinner with Putin.
I do someday want to see Israel and Egypt. I do want to see Russia, but it's so political. You go somewhere, it's not that I'm scared to do something, but they immediately say, oh, you work for Russia, you work for Israel, no, I want to go see it. I do.
I remember when I first got my band page, and to be honest with you, Alex, it was an honor to stand with you.
TJ said $50. Keep up the great work, especially love the evolution streams.
Oh, I'll do another evolution stream. Once there's too many viral posts online of the Christians denying evolution, I'll have to do another evolution stream.
Like this nothing censored guy on the internet, just coming off of a podcast with Ben Stein that I was his sidekick. And because I got a band page, Fuentes went around, made all these memes, and he's like, this is Alex's Mossad handler. I mean, like, that's right. You're like, it's hard for someone like you to go to Israel because they'll all say that you're secretly controlled by the Jews and that you're being puppeted. And that's how they get you to not go to Israel, is they make these lies up and they slander you like this. So, I think everybody should go to Israel. I would take Fuentes to Israel.
Well,
I've been trying to put
that would be viral
to Israel for a while.
Elijah
Schaefer said he might come on my trip.
Yeah. Well, also you can see J.D. Vance went to an Orthodox church. They don't go, he works for the Orthodox people. Then if you go,
yeah, we do.
It means you're bad. No,
yes, the Christians are involved as well. Yes, he's still going to Israel to go visit The Holy Sepulchre.
Danthaman sent $20
Yo,
extra like
Groper.
our new follower. Hard to listen to Nick or Candace now without hearing some Christian goy slop every 5 minutes.
I know, me too. I agree. That's how I feel. Isn't it so Jewish and kosher? Hear about the Bible. Every knee will bow to the King of the Jews every 5 minutes.
Touching the wall and seeing what I feel, like I did Stonehenge. Like I went there before they totally
See what
closed
you
it down.
feel.
Back when it's all closed down, can't get close to it now. But I like jumped the fence and ran and wanted to touch Stonehenge. Doesn't mean I was a druid. Does that make sense? I mean, I wanted to see what Stonehenge was like. So what do you feel when you touch the Wailing Wall?
Secret druid.
Dude,
An orgasm.
There's like this smell that the wall has that reminds me of the ancient world. Like you got to go put your nose up to the stone, and it's otherworldly. But the truth is we don't want just the Western Wall.
Carlin's here. Carlin says Adam King is having James Lindsay on today to talk to him about his trip to Israel. Oh my God, we're gonna have to watch that too. Carlin, you want to watch that with me? If you're watching that, I'll join you and watch it with you if you want. You got the bigger audience. You got the YouTube. If you want.
The real issue of the temple
Just an idea.
of Jerusalem is on the other side of the wall. And this wall is kind of like the symbolic like effigy of exile. The goal is to go on the other side.
Let's do it. All right.
Jews deserve a synagogue on the Temple Mount. It's our holiest site. And the debate.
He wants the third temple. It's their holiest site. What a day for Adam King. It goes on InfoWars for the first time with Jones. And the coveted James Lindsay, the hero, the top Shabbos Goy on the right. Dude, they're going to discuss the woke neo-pagan anti-Bible right. Thinkologist says James Lindsay gave the world woke right. Total loser.
In Jerusalem is, the Al-Aqsa Mosque is their third holiest site, but the Haram al-Sharif, which is a shrine that they built on the Temple Mount, is our holiest site. They don't even use it. They just made it into a shrine on the Temple
Don't
Mount.
even use it.
So we want the Haram al-Sharif, or even just a synagogue in the corner of the thing, just so that we could pray there.
Wow.
And that's where a lot of the debate comes from.
Why are you saying you want a synagogue up there? You want the temple, synagogue.
You mentioned earlier, I'm on. I actually am the current possessor of the ashes of the red heifer. Here they are, right here. We did the ceremony of the red heifer on July 1st. There is nothing that freaks these people out more than this red heifer. They think we're going to bring the Antichrist. It is such an important.
Jones believes in the Antichrist.
Chapter Numbers 19. There's some parts of the Bible that 200 years are contained in a sentence, but this has its own chapter. But somehow it's satanic. So it's like there's this grift against the Jews. Anything the Jews do is bad. Anything that you could do to work against them, even lie, is good. And that's what's promoted. And it's nonstop lie after lie.
Let's be clear. I got a lot of problems with some of the Israel
Candace
interests.
Owens accused me in writing of being a part of the plot to kill Charlie Kirk. And I went, me, Josh Hammer, Seth Dillon, Bill Ackman at that Hampton summit. I came out for an entire week, and I said over and over again, I was not there. I only knew about this thing because Candace Owens broke the story.
Yeah, Jones loves talking about Satan.
She goes on a week later to say the same stupid SHIT about me being there, as if she didn't hear me the entire week before, saying I wasn't even there. I didn't even know about it. I never met Bill Ackman. So it's like whatever the grift works for them to get their followers angry and inside of a hate Jew lustful rage, they're going to go for it, even if it's a lie.
Well, I don't think it should be the central issue. I definitely agree with you on that. Let's do a few more minutes. I got other callers, but you can come on as a guest. But I want to debate Dinesh D'Souza, about, everyone's attorney is we're racist, but it's people run and bring all this attention to something if you think it's a bad.
Adam had on Dinesh D'Souza last week.
We'll talk about Josh Hammer, though. Because I was born in the dark. It wasn't last night.
And he had Josh Hammer on
some years ago to say, how you less Hitler and all the rest of it. And I'm against all these wars that aren't in our hemisphere. And I don't support regime change in Venezuela. I understand Trump's view. It is constitutional. They are manipulating our elections. They are flooding us with drugs. Thomas Jefferson would have attacked them, just like he did the Barbary Pirates. But I said I don't trust the CIA to sabotage it. Tucker's so anti-war, he's even against that. I said yesterday, And the day before I said, I get the Muslims have killed hundreds of thousands of Christians in Nigeria. The government's doing nothing. But that's not our hemisphere, and it's a quagmire. And it's like, oh, you don't care about black Christians. No, I care about everybody. It's just, we've got to take care of things here at home, folks. We're not the Roman legions here. And there's an excuse to go everywhere. You know, North Korea's killed millions of its people starvation. Are we going to attack them? They had nuclear weapons. So you look at Josh Hammer, you know, saying, oh, he's a fox in the hen house. You know how you deal with that. You neutralize it. When they said within 48 hours everywhere that Israel killed Charlie Kirk, I said, I see no evidence of that. And I said, if I see evidence of that, I'll cover it. And I got totally attacked. Oh, my God, you work for Israel, you got a paycheck in the mail. Really, never got one. I'm waiting for it. But now you've got this statement, and then you've got Kash Patel killing Tulsi Gabbard's investigation of foreign involvement, which they said they found some evidence. They didn't say who. You have 6
Oh, my God, just go back to him.
Kill him tomorrow. In the White House telling Trump, don't do this, blah, blah, blah.
To these shows as if he doesn't know a thing, and the person in the chair is teaching him, and everything's like, wow, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. You know, it's all softball with him.
Okay, Carlin, we could do it on Thursday.
Tucker from Fox is not the Tucker today.
Yeah,
and
but
also,
hold on. He does that interview style when he's talking about anything, because that's how he gets people to talk. That's a good interviewer.
You know, if that's his style, that's his style. He just has to have people on from the other side. You know, and it's not the other side. We're supposed to be on the same side. This is the America First side. You know, and supporting our allies abroad has always been an America First position. You know,
so you agree with Randy Fine? You're saying Tucker is not MAGA.
I'm saying what?
Are you saying you agree with Randy Fine that Tucker is not MAGA?
He left MAGA, yeah. MAGA is a big tent, and Tucker wants a smaller tent, and he wants to change a lot of things. He wants to control J.D. Vance. He thinks he's got the in for 2028. One thing I don't like about Tucker is he's counting 2028 now, as opposed to being a part of what's going on in the Trump agenda. Tucker's actually working against the Trump agenda, creating tremendous divisions on the movement that brought Trump to power.
Now, see, I totally disagree with that.
In his move,
the American people and his constituents.
Do you think, Alex, sorry to interrupt you, but do you think that the $200 million that Jews put into the 2024 campaign, do you think the Jews are going to back Vance as well as they did Trump, knowing that Vance is so in with Tucker the way that Tucker is right now? There's no way.
Well, I think that's a low number. I think Jews put in a lot more than $200 million.
To our credit, but thank you very much for that.
To our credit.
Let's move back from that. Let's just move back from that. Let me answer the first question. J.D. Vance is not anti-Israel. And so you know what the Democrats are. So my issue is, why sit there and continue to take the bait when people try to tee this up over and over again, when clearly the Democrats are promoting this and want this so the Jews don't support Republicans? I get attacked with fake stories all the time, and I don't take the bait because it's meant to make it bigger. Like, where is the understanding there?
You know, I don't like this idea that we're just going to label people anti-Semites and then like censor them and shut them out of society. I've been censored myself, and it's the most backwards way to create stagnation for whatever it is that we have. You know, the best truth is sunlight, and it disinfects all things. So, you know, in the situation with Tucker and others like Candace, you know, these people are really sowing divisions inside of the Republican movement. They're not attacking.
Yeah, Trump did attack Tucker. That's right.
Democrats.
Pantari.
You know, the Democrats are more vulnerable than ever before.
What was it about? What did he say? He's like, he doesn't have a show anymore.
LARP on
I think it was about the Iran bombing.
Are we an
I'll
empire?
say this. We discovered Candace Owens, and I don't think she's a consciously bad person. But I've invited her on. Oh, she's always too busy, but she can do all the other shows, which is fine. But she does sit there and you know, just say,
Candace denying InfoWars? Interesting.
Trump's bad. Point blank, it's all bad. And you know, so with her, whatever, she can do what she wants. My issue with Tucker is, you must be watching a different show than me. He's covering all sorts of topics about fentanyl and beef production and getting jobs back and supporting what Trump's doing. And I really think you're only like looking at the feeds of where it's about Israel. And I think that's a distortion now.
People just clip up when he's talking about Israel stuff. That's what gets clipped. And we do see quite a bit of Tucker talking about that stuff recently. But to say, do you see Jones's hang up is he's saying that it's all he ever talks about, which obviously is not true. He does have guests that talk about other shit. I don't think that's true.
I'll tell you, I try to watch Tucker. I
can't handle anymore. No more. Let's get back to the show.
He has chosen to take on the mantle of leader of a modern-day Hitler Youth, to broadcast and feature those who celebrate the Nazis, those who call for the extermination of Israel, to defend Hamas, to
extermination.
Trump.
Criticizing anything Israel does. They go, rights of self-determination, double standard. You want to genocide us.
For stopping Iran's nuclear ambitions. Friends, make no mistake.
Make no
Tucker
mistake.
Is not MAGA.
Not MAGA. Dude, this obsession over Tucker. We'll get to Mark Levin's too.
Tucker's fall from grace has been one of the most extraordinary implosions in political history. And the rapidity of it.
Really? He's like more. You're all talking about him. He's more famous than ever. He's central to the whole conversation. And you're going to tell us that he's fallen?
And the rapidity of it has created real challenges for us all. Because our friends don't have our shared experience. I even deal with this with my colleagues in the House.
Judea declares war on Tucker.
Remember the Tucker of 5 years ago. They don't live with anti-Semitism.
Adam King on his own generational run, right?
The way that we
Funny.
And it's jarring for them to try to understand, how did this person become who he is today? But the challenge is he's inspired a movement of hate in our midst.
A movement of hate.
Calling people out.
Tucker's like, oh, I love everybody. I'm a Christian. I love everyone. I just hate the demons. I know it's not Jews. Jews are great people. I love Jews. It's just the satanic demons. That's Tucker. Okay.
You don't get to wrap your Hitler admirers, Stalin admirers, Jew haters, American haters, Churchill haters. You're damn right we're going to cancel them and deplatform them. It's called the market system.
The Jews run the market, and they tell you when you're deplatformed. That's the market system. Free market means the Jews are free to take over and ban you from things.
Have a lifetime job like a bureaucrat who we're going to protect. And if they're your friend, there's something wrong with you. No Hitler admirer, Holocaust denier, platformer should be anybody's friend, as a matter of fact. You don't get to wrap your psychotic.
Dude, Nick makes one joke about Cookie Monster and baking cookies, and he gets called a Holocaust denier 6 million times in the media and by these guys, these politicians, these media pundits.
Mental, unhinged, Nazi clan bullshit around American patriotism.
Dude.
You don't get to claim you're MAGA and America first when you're lining up with the Marxists and the Islamists and Hamas and the terrorists. That's not America first. That's sick.
That's sick. Dude, look at him waving his finger. Yeah.
Claim you're MAGA and America first.
We're going to tell you what it means to be America first. Us Jews are to decide what's America first and what's not, okay? You got it, Goy? You got it, Goy?
This guy is so repulsive.
You're lining up with the Marxists and the Islamists and Hamas and the terrorists. That's not America first. That's sick.
Talking about what Israel's done to all the people of Palestine, and you're standing up for terrorists. All the bomb kids and that ethnic cleansing is terrorist.
But you know what? Unlike other people, truly, to Tucker Carlson, I say, did you have a head injury? What happened to you? But you know what? Unlike other people, truly, I'm not a psychiatrist. I don't care why. I just know what you are. You platform these people, you deceive your audience, you lie to your audience, you become a full-blown, out-of-the-closet Jew hater. And if you're a Jew hater, you're a Christian hater. And
if you're a Jew, hate Christians. If they hate us, they hate you.
they demonstrated that.
They demonstrated that.
If you're
Good.
a Jew hater, you're a Christian hater.
Yeah, he's crashing out.
You become a full-blown, out-of-the-closet Jew hater.
Dude, come on. Like, Nick Fuentes has up to like 100,000 people watching him live. He's all over the media. He's going on bigger and bigger podcasts. And because Tucker talked to somebody that's got 1 million followers on Twitter, because he talked to him, because he didn't go along with the, you're blacklisted, censor him narrative. Now you're also a Jew hater. Does anybody think Tucker really hates Jews? Honestly.
And if you're a Jew hater, you're a Christian hater. And
That's
they
so
demonstrated that. Your stupid little And I just want the anti-American, anti-Israel, anti-West crowd to understand something. You're going to have to come through me and millions of people just like me, and you're not going to make it. You think your stupid little podcast, or your stupid little subscription program, or your little TV show, or maybe you have a little radio show, is going to change the world like hell it is, not if I and everybody else have something to say about it.
No, they're just going to use you as the scare tactic in the villains for the narrative and the justification. They're not. I agree with him here. He's right, and he knows it. That's why he's so confident that he'll crash out like this. He's seething, but he's right. He's like, you think Tucker Carlson, you think the Groypers are going to take over the Vatican? You think the Groypers are going to take over America? Do you not know what you're up against? Do you not know the power that you're up against? You're going to be used for the pretext for the complete crushing of America.
And millions of people just like me. And you're not going to make it.
Yeah, you think you're going to beat John Hagee and Koofy? You think you're going to beat all their money and who they're able to buy off? You think you're going to be able to beat the algorithms?
Your stupid little podcast, your stupid little...
Think your memes? You think your memes are going to bring down Zog?
Program, or your little TV show, or maybe you have a little radio show, is going to change the world like hell it is, not if I and everybody else.
They're underestimating the internet. If this was the case, they wouldn't need censorship. That's true. Well, that's the thing, though, is that they're able to censor. Your little podcast, too. Tucker had the #1 show on Fox. Got fired for, wasn't it like voting stuff also, but he was accused of anti-Semitism also. His show was way bigger than yours on Fox, and he goes independent. And this is what they think of independent media. This is what the Fox News establishment media hack thinks about you and your little podcast. You think you little goyim and your free speech podcasts are going to bring us down? You're underestimating our power. You're estimating our resolve. We will crush you. He's going David Goldberg moment.
Hellenus of Troy sent $10. Nick and Tucker are anti-West. They both support Putin.
Yeah. Shilling for Stalin and Putin and glazing Hamas, if he's ever done that. That does give the Jews something to point at and say, look at how discrediting and how much of a boogeyman this is. Not exactly. It's why did Nick benefit from saying, oh, he loves Stalin? besides handing Jews like Levine to say you're anti-American, you're communist? What else does that do besides hand them to be leveraged against the anti-Israel side?
Christian Zionism. Little Adolf Fuentes, little Adolf. He gets here, he's got a little suit on like he's attending a funeral. My advice to little Adolf is just go full, put the brown shirt on. What are you, a coward? Put the brown shirt on. I know you can't grow the...
Dude, Nick's not going to put on a brown shirt. He's not German. He lives in America. It's not the 1940s. Dude, any opposition, any criticism at all, it's straight to Nazis. Straight to Nazis. You're not allowed to criticize them because Nazis.
Mustache, you're still stuck in your prepubescent stage, but give it a shot. Give it a shot.
Dude, seething. He is seething.
Carlson, I say.
You put on your little suit like you mean like you wear a suit all the time? Like what kind of fashion advice? What kind of attack is this? Oh, you wear a suit? Oh, you're young and you wear a suit? You must be a Nazi.
Did you have a head injury? What happened to you? But you know what? Unlike other people, truly, I'm not a psychiatrist. I don't care why. I just know what you are. You platform these people. You deceive your audience. You lie to your audience. You become a full-blown, out-of-the-closet Jew hater. And if you're a Jew hater, you're a Christian hater. And they demonstrated that. Christian Zionism. Wow. You know what he said?
Wow.
He said that he despises Christian Zionists more than anybody. More than anybody. More than terrorists. More than Hamas and Hezbollah. More than the Muslim Brotherhood. More than our great friends in Qatar. More than the Taliban. More than mass murders. Christian Zionists. He despises them even more than Jews. Christian Zionists. If you reject Judaism, you reject Christianity.
Very true. Good point, Levine. If you reject Judaism, you should reject Christianity. Because Christianity is Judaism. And this is how they get you, and you'll never escape this. And this is my whole problem with Christians. Total vindication. They can't oppose Judaism. They can't oppose the roots of Torah Judaism. Because it's their Bible. Because it's the foundation of the New Testament. Because that's where all the Hebrew prophets and their prophecies of the Messiah are. In the Old Testament. This is a true statement. And this is why you'll lose. Because this is actually the truth right here.
Christian Zionists, he despises them even more than Jews, Zionists. If you reject Judaism, you reject Christianity. If you reject Judaism and Christianity.
How about, let me rephrase this. If you don't reject Christianity, you're not rejecting all forms of Judaism. Can say that another way.
Judaism and Christianity, then you reject the American founding based on the Judeo-Christian values and belief system.
And that's why we need to lie. Judeo-Christian value.
If you embrace Hitler...
So basically the Jews gave us America with this narrative, this line of reasoning.
If you play footsie with Hitler, if you think Hitler's misunderstood, if you think Churchill's the reason we had World War II, if you think
Basically, if you don't go along with their narrative that he's the epitome of darkness and evil and the Antichrist and the most psychopathic evil leader to have ever existed, the modern day Haman, the modern day Pharaoh, if you don't agree with all of that, that's basically what he's saying here. That is how the enforcement is ran.
Was the provocateur. If you think those things, I don't want to debate you. I don't even care about you. That's not a legitimate position. Supporting the Klan's not a legitimate position. Neo-Nazis, that's
Who's supporting the Klan? What is he talking about?
jihadis, that's not a legitimate position.
Conflating all criticism of Israel or Jews or of him as like supporting the Klan? Come on. What a stretch.
These are people who want to kill us. These are ideologies that want to kill us. Oh, no, I'm just asking questions. Okay, I'm answering it.
Yeah, the Klan has been gone for 40 years. There's no Klan.
This is going to separate, and you're going to see.
You're going to see. What was that? Legitimate position is only Moshiach now, right? Yeah, he says he does. Good point, Web Surfer. He says, I don't care about you. You think this? I don't care about you. That's why he's like crashing out on stage and on his podcast for months about all of this stuff. I don't care about you. I'm not going to engage with you. And it's literally all he does. He needs a drink. He does seem... Are you sensing pressed and desperation or chutzpah or just seething or a combination of all three?
Whether they're in radio or TV or podcasting or politicians, this is going to separate statesmen and leaders from the rest. From the rest.
Out of touch.
You can observe this yourselves. These aren't powerful people. Seriously?
Liam Jarrett sent $5 on Rumble. Him and Greenblatt sound like total mob bosses.
I was thinking that too. He does have the mob boss, Greenblatt type of imagery and voice and the way they talk for sure. They are the kosher nostra. Greenblatt and Levine. Who else? Who else? Netanyahu, the kosher nostra. That could be a good meme.
These aren't intelligent people. These are lowlives that have platforms. If we can't speak out against them and fight them, what good are we?
Nobody said you can't speak out against them. See, The Atlantic, which is also ran by Jews. The firewall against Nick Fuentes is crumbling. That's the narrative everywhere. The anti-Semitism is exploding. Remember last week they talked about how that more anti-Semitism is being spread on X and the internet than any time ever. I just signed up for a new TikTok. The algorithm pumping me all the kosher Christian conspiracies, all the satanic tropes. Synagogue of Satan, Jews killed Jesus, they worship the devil, they're the Khazarians, Schofield Bible, Talmud. Same thing on TikTok. Same thing on Instagram, same thing on X. Facebook, I'm not so sure. Facebook is just like boomer and even more of the kooky distraction stuff, but not the religious Christian controlled op type of talking points. Let's see. Where's these girls on the podcast? Oh, here he is seething.
Nick Fuentes and his disgusting... So now I have baby Hitler himself, Nick Fuentes, and his disgusting groypers in my replies, calling me an odious kike bastard. Who the hell do you think you are? So now I have baby Hitler...
Okay. Here are the girls talking about U.S.-born pro-Israel activist Lizzie Savetsky says she thinks Israel, not America, is where the future is, and she views it as an insurance policy. That's what Netanyahu, or that's what Ben Shapiro said too. Remember, he's like, "Well, I stay in America because I can do more for Israel in America, and Israel's our insurance policy that I always have somewhere to flee to if it goes bad in America." And then mob boss Greenblatt at ADL is like, "It could happen here. Buy my book. It could happen here. Another Holocaust, 1930s Germany. It looks all over again."
Started getting really bad in Israel. I even went. We were at the cemetery and we were talking about where we wanted to be buried. And, this is such a crazy conversation to have. I just turned 40. I'm not planning on dying for 80 more years, God willing.
Exactly.
But I was like, you know what? I want to be buried in Israel because I went on the Holocaust tours in Poland and I visited.
And you saw what happened to the graves there.
Well, and I visited my ancestors, and I don't want my progeny to have to come to a ghost town where Jews used to live to be able to pay their respects to me and to see where I'm buried. I want to be where the future is. And I just don't know if that's America. I think that the future is here in Israel.
I'm American. I was born in Florida. I made Aliyah when I was 9 years old. And for me to hear what you're saying and to see what's actually happening makes me so sad, because I always thought that America is a safe place for Jews forever.
Everyone did.
I never
We were very
believed-
naive.
I talked to my friends, and all the ladies are getting their passports ready because they're not feeling safe in America. All the Jews are going to leave if this new Madari guy wins. Look, Jerusalem Post, as anti-Semitism grows, it's clear that Israel must be the home for every Jew. Opinion. The only place they're safe, getting their passports ready. It's just like 1930s Germany. All the signs are there.
A few years ago, when things started getting really bad in Israel, I even went with my kids and I got them American passports, citizenship. And I never thought that actually the only safe place for Jews is Israel.
This is the only place. And I think that's what Golda Meir meant when she said that we Jews have a secret weapon. We have nowhere else.
That's what the rabbis say.
This is it. This
That's
is home.
why we need to fight. And that's why you're doing everything you're doing, not getting paid for.
100%. And, for me, as much as it's important to fight anti-Semitism, the most important priority to me as a Jewish person is protecting and securing the state of Israel, because this is
her most important thing. What was that? What was your most important thing?
Protecting and securing priority to me, as it's important to fight anti-Semitism. The most important priority to me as a Jewish person is protecting and securing the state of Israel, because this is, I don't even like to use the term insurance policy, because I need Israel. I think it was Elie Wiesel who said, as a Jew, I need Israel. I don't need to live here, but I cannot live as a Jew without Israel. Israel, the Jewish people without Israel cannot exist in a safe way in this world. And that is why Theodore Herzl founded the World Zionist Congress. And that is why I'm doing everything in my power to protect Israel.
Everything in their power to protect Israel. Remember the Rabbi Mizrachi prophecy?
Yitzchak now giving Yaakov will control the whole world. Everything in the world will depend on your actions and decisions. Economy, armies, financial, stock markets, science, medicine, big companies. The Jews will control the world, whether the Goyim likes it or they hate it. That's a fact. It's written in a book that the Goyim admit that it's the book of God. So there's no other great blessing. That's the blessing.
Oh, this is the wrong clip.
ויתן לך אלוקים מתת מוציא שבת. ויתן השמיים משמני הארץ ורוב תגן ותירוש עבדוך עמים השתחררו לך לאומים לאחיך. It's basically giving him control on the whole world.
Destroy.
It was meant for Esau, but who took it? Yaakov. Who's Yaakov? The Jews.
Sorry, guys, I did the wrong clip.
Blessing of
It's mislabeled, apparently. Esau, America destroyed. I'm looking. There it is. God will bury America. That's the one I'm looking for.
The Jews run the show in the world, not because they want, because that's what God wants. And it's written in the Torah that the non-Jews admit that is the word of God. If they didn't admit, what's the proof? But in the Torah it says that in every nation you will be, you will always be the highlight of the place. Even though we have very small community compared to America, 300 million Americans, 5 million Jews. There's no comparison. But the Jews are everywhere. Politics. All the assistants of Trump, Jews. All the assistants of Sleepy Joe, Jews. Obama, Jews. Everyone around there. Reform Jews, conservative Jews, Chabadnik, this, convert. It's all somehow. Same thing was in Spain. Same thing was in many different countries. When the country hosts the Jews, and the Jews live in that country with freedom, God bless this place thanks to the Jews there. As soon as they torture them, or kill them, or throw them out of the country, the end of this empire shortly after comes. Let's go one by one. The Roman Empire, when they started with the Jews, that was their end. After the Jews, no more Roman Empire. The Greeks, same story. Babylonians disappeared. Persians, Ahasuerus disappeared. In Iran, modern days, the Iranian Shah was very good to the Jews. Iran was the fourth powerful country in the world in its time. After Russia, America, I think Germany, Iran is paradise.
Yeah,
so
Rabbi Mizrachi, brutally honest.
Empire. They stayed
Corn Pop said $5. All of them sound like rabid dogs who know what's coming.
Well, their prophecies dictate that the whole world turns against him and that there's a rise in anti-Semitism in Edom. He said this years ago. Listen, and then I was saying this is about to happen, and then it all happened.
Spain, same thing. The Jews were in power. They did the Spanish Inquisition. Spain and Portugal, nothing is left from them. Russia, there were many hundreds of thousands of Jews there. Russia was very powerful empire.
Caden 13 sent $5 on Rumble.
The Jews left
Not
Russia.
to get too conspiratorial, but do you think Israeli money might be covertly supporting Mandani's campaign as a 4D chess move to spur a wave of Aliyah to resettle the West Bank/Gaza?
Interesting. I don't know. Has he said anything like really anti-Semitic? I saw he's meeting with a bunch of Jews. He's getting endorsed by a bunch of Jews also. So I don't think so. They're just they use the natural reactions against them to their benefit to fulfill their persecution narratives. It's like they go, "Oh, the whole world will turn against us." Well, if you slaughter a bunch of kids in Gaza, like the world is going to be mad about it.
The USSR collapsed. Now the Jews gonna run away from
Brother
from
BB
America.
sent $5
Yeah, this
on
is
Rumble. So as soon as the Goyim notice, Hashem buries them?
Yep. Right. Here it is right here. This is it. Ears open. Listening caps on. Listen to what Mizrachi said years ago. It's what we're seeing unfold right now, I think.
Now the Jews gonna run away from America. Most of them assimilated, so they'll become Goyim already, their children. So they have nothing to wear because they're not Jewish. But those who are still religious, they will all get up. Within a year or 2 or 5, we'll all have to run away from here. Once we will leave this place, Hashem will bury America. That's what's going to happen. Not because I'm some kind of a prophet. I'm not giving you any prophecies here. I'm just describing to you a divine formula. The chosen people, where they're going to live, and you'll be good to them and nice to them, I will bless you from the place. The Torah has a source for it.
So the Jews are going to make Aliyah, leave, go to Israel, and their prophetic rise in anti-Semitism and the nations turning against Israel. Remember this one from Israel 365? Top rabbi says America is collapsing. Israel must step up as new world superpower. That was in 2021. How about this one? This rabbi talking about as America falls, Israel rises.
Remember the idea that when Esav is high, the Yaakov, the Jews are low? That means when Yaakov when Yaakov is low, that means the Tiferes and Ois of Yaakov is given to Esav. That's what he has. And when Yaakov is high, then the Tiferes and Ois, the beauty and the might, the success and the wisdom remains with Yaakov, right? And it's taken away from Esav.
Okay, Esav falls, Jacob goes up. Yeah, the voice sped up. That doesn't work. Okay, let's see here. It looks like the crowd at this Republican coalition was 100 to 150 people. It looks like a lot more than that. I mean, does the crowd side really matter? They're small people. They're 2% of the population. Doesn't matter the number in the crowd. What matters is the influence and the money and the connections of the people in the crowd.
I know both of these. Stand up, Trump and Netanyahu.
Brother BD sent $5 on Rumble. That guy's comment makes sense. I see Jews in New York saying if Mandani is elected mayor, they will go to Israel.
Yeah, they're going to say that, but he was saying like he's being conspiratorial that the Jews are putting him into power to do that, which I don't think that's necessary. I think there's going to be a natural people that are against it. You think this looks like 1,000 people? I know it looks way more than 150. I don't know, because they all have death. Oh, no, just the first few rows have deaths in front of them.
Men. Stand up, Trump and Netanyahu.
Okay. Trump made a statement he wasn't there, but he did a video statement. Let's watch this. Haven't watched it yet.
We won the election. Hello to everyone at the Republican Jewish Coalition, and congratulations on 40 amazing years. I want to thank your national chairman, former Senator Norm Coleman, along with your CEO, Matt Brooks, and my friend Miriam Adelson, and so many other incredible supporters, distinguished guests out in beautiful Las Vegas. 4 days from now, we will celebrate the one-year anniversary of the most important election victory in the history of our country.
You know what? I forgot. On the Make Aliyah stuff, this is a conspiracy. I saw 23,000 likes on Instagram. And I don't think this is what actually is happening. But this is what the conspiracy narrative is going to be. This is what the Kabbalists say. This is what Adam King would say is going on. Edom is rising up to Holocaust the Jews, as this guy says. And that's going to be the narrative. That's going to be how the history books are written. Oh, the medieval anti-Semitism. These
Roman Empire.
These Catholics. Look at this. Look at these conspiracies.
Candace Owens and Nick Fuentes are deep state-controlled opposition plants for the New World Order. This was all independently foretold years ago, not only by two former Illuminati Jesuit defectors, Svali and Maury, in these books, but also by independent researcher Eric John Phelps in Vatican Assassins. These sources stated years ago that the plan for the New World Order is for the Roman Catholic Church to intentionally incite worldwide anti-Semitism, culminating in a devastating Holocaust centered in Israel. After
Funny how this aligns perfectly with what the Kabbalah rabbis say would be the prophecies. They'd say Rome, in the Erev Rav in Rome, rises up to genocide the Jews, like they do their prayer on Passover, that in every generation the nations rise up to try to eradicate them. And then now we got these conspiracies like this. Nick Fuentes, Candace Owens, the rise of the anti-Semitism in Edom, the Roman Catholic Church.
In Vatican Assassins, these sources stated years ago that the plan for the New World Order is for the Roman Catholic Church to intentionally incite worldwide anti-Semitism, culminating in a devastating Holocaust centered in Israel, after which the Pope will rule the New World Order as Antichrist. Now,
so see, it's actually the Catholics are the satanic Antichrist that are persecuting the Jews. This is they believe in Judaism, the Antichrist figure comes from Europe, represents like the leader, the king of Edom, which they view as Christendom in either Trump or the Pope, leaders of the Western Christendom nations.
I realized that both Nick Fuentes...
So funny how this plays exactly into what the Kabbalah rabbi plan is. This type of conspiracy. This Fourth Reich, hidden Nazis all over America.
And Candace Owens are devout Roman Catholics. Erica Kirk and Trump are also both Jesuit trained, hiding in plain sight. Are you being played? After all, as Jordan Maxwell stated, the Holy Roman Empire never fell. It continued through the Roman Catholic Church, epitomized by the Vatican. And as Gary Wayne explains in the Genesis 6 conspiracy, Rome is no doubt the New Babylon, aka the central global city.
See the New Babylon that needs to be destroyed, the New World Order? The satanic, globalist, Luciferian, Vatican, Edomite, Nazi, Fourth Reich, right?
State of the New World Order. In other words, the Roman Catholic
Jay Dyer, what does Jay Dyer promote? Oh, it's the Vatican, the globalist, the Bilderberg, the New World Order, the Antichrist, right? Same story.
Its Jesuit army are the forces bringing about the New World Order. Note that the Roman Catholic Church has not much to do with Christianity.
Not real
or
Christians.
Jesus Christ. In fact, the Catholic Church has historically persecuted millions of Christians, as explained
Secret
in Phelps's
Nazi
Book of
satanic
Martyrs.
panic.
Phelps
Yeah.
continues to state that once this Jesuit-controlled
This
government
Phelps guy
exterminates
still
them,
around?
they will then start persecuting
Eric John
any
Phelps,
Christian
I think it
who
is.
doesn't worship the Pope.
He was the guy. I'm pretty sure there was a debate I watched a long time ago from Michael Collins Piper versus Eric John Phelps about if it's like a Jewish conspiracy or a Vatican conspiracy.
Including those Christians who worship Jesus Christ. Candace Owens.
Jay Dyer impression? It's like the Vatican's. There's Bilderberg, Satanic, Luciferian, New World Order, Esoteric Hollywood. Not very good. Gotta hear it.
With the help of many of you, we won all 7 swing states by millions of votes. We won the Electoral College 312 to 226. We won the popular vote for the first time of any Republican in decades, and we won 86% of the counties in America, 2,700 to 525. And very importantly, the RJC helped ensure that we won the highest percentage of Jewish vote of any Republican since 1988. I can't imagine we didn't do better than that after all I've done for the Jewish vote. I must be honest with you, but that's okay. 1988's not that bad.
Complaining that he doesn't have more Jewish support again?
1 year ago, we were a dead country. Now we're the hottest country anywhere in the world by far.
Resurrected
Wages for
by
workers
far.
have risen at the fastest rate in 60 years, and more than $18 trillion are pouring into the United States from all over the world. We have fully secured our southern border, and we have ended 8 wars in 9 months. That's pretty good. 8 wars in 9 months. We have 1 to go, as you know.
One to
Russia,
go.
Ukraine. That includes the historic peace deal that ended the war in Gaza. After 2 harrowing years of darkness, our 20 courageous hostages were returned to the loving embrace of their families. And you have to remember, we also got many of the other hostages out long before that. Many hostages were gotten out by us.
I freed the
Israel
captives.
has never had a better friend than President Donald J. Trump. In my first term, I terminated the disastrous Iran nuclear deal. With Operation Midnight Hammer last June, we totally obliterated Iran's nuclear enrichment capacity. And we didn't even get them by surprise.
Operation
They expected
Hebrew
it, and
Hammer.
They got obliterated. After years of broken promises by many other American presidents, I kept my promise, officially recognized the capital of Israel, and moved the American embassy to Jerusalem.
Is this sped up? I've never heard him
also
talk this fast.
recognized Israeli sovereignty over the Golan Heights. Who would have done that?
The
Nobody
Golan
even thought I
Heights.
was going to think about it. Nobody
ever thought it.
70 years.
Nobody ever thought I'd rebuild the temple, the greatest temple ever, totally out of left field. That Jewish guy at the press conference brought it up. I thought it was a great idea.
But I did it. I withdrew the United States from the anti-American, anti-Israel UN.
They all said that rebuilding the third temple would start World War III in Armageddon, but it didn't happen, did it? The greatest builder of all
Human
time.
Rights Council.
They call me King Cyrus. I gave them their temple.
And terminated funding for the extremely corrupt United Nations Relief and Works Agency, a totally corrupt operation. We're also defending our Jewish citizens here in America. Just as I promised, we're deporting the foreign jihadist sympathizers and Hamas supporters from our country, and it's happening very quickly. Upon taking office, I signed a historic executive order directing every department and agency in the federal government.
Dude, is this sped up? He hasn't taken a breath. Never seen him read this fast. He's really trying to get through this. It must be painful for him. An unpleasant experience. He wants it over with.
To do everything in their power to end the scourge of anti-Semitism in America. My administration has filed historic civil rights lawsuits and cut off funding to colleges and universities that refuse to defend their Jewish students from vile acts of anti-Semitism. And we have secured some of the largest discrimination settlements in modern times. There's been nothing like it. In just 9 months, we have done more to protect Jewish Americans than any administration in history by far, and we're just getting started. We are going to continue to help Together we will make America stronger, safer, richer, prouder, and greater than ever before. I want to thank you once again to everyone at the Republican Jewish Coalition. God bless America. I'm with you all the way.
All the way. That was AI. Maybe that's why it was so fast, the AI. Johan.
$5 kudos to you, Adam, for always giving props to Michael Collins Piper. He was a great writer and researcher. The OG real deal.
I mean, it's not that I'm like giving him props. It's just he predicted Trump so vividly and called out Trump as a Zionist frontman too in his books way long ago. So yeah, happy to do it. Okay, Ted Cruz. Let's see the first Ted Cruz one.
And I will tell you, at least for me, I am very proud to be a Christian Zionist.
This is quiet. Hold on, let's hear if this one's louder.
Now, in my Bible,
Yep, he turned it up. Thank God. We're going to go to this one then. And my Bible says, I read it in a book, and my Bible says we support Israel. Here we go. You know it's coming.
And replacement theology is a twisted view that the Jews are no longer God's chosen people, that the promises in the Old Testament no longer apply.
This satanic idea that the Jews are not really chosen because
I read about it in a book.
It cannot stand as a Christian.
And that Christians have replaced Jews. Now, in my Bible, I believe every word of it is true, and I believe every promise that God made to the people of Israel remains a promise that is made to the chosen people.
I'm a good guy, and it says you're chosen.
And the last I checked, Jesus was a Jew.
Oh. Woo!
And I will tell you, at least for me, I am very proud to be a Christian Zionist. And replacement theology is a twisted view that the Jews are no longer God's chosen people, that the promises in the Old Testament...
Don't you love it? All these Christians say, you're the heretics. You're not the real Christians. And then all the e-crusaders online go, no, you're the satanic Schofield Zionist fake Christians. And then it just carries on. That's the dance. They tiptoe back and forth, calling each other not real Christians. And the Jews aren't the real Jews. And where do we get? They just keep marching to Zion. The shit. Here's former police officer Tatum, top token black Shabbos goy.
You dare to do such an atrocity to people that I love, people that I respect, people that are chosen by God. You decide to do something like that.
Who added the chirp? Okay, that's what's so funny. They added the chirp in. Okay.
Chosen by God. You decide to do something like that. You should never have an opportunity to do it again. And it should be an example to everybody in the world that if you ever think about trying something like this, your country will cease to exist.
Will cease to exist? Dude, adding the chirp to that is so funny. Okay, and then boxing champion Floyd Mayweather there in a wizard costume that literally says Republican Jewish Coalition on it. They put him in, dude. Dude, he's got his boxing jacket, has an Israeli flag on it.
I'm not with you guys 10%, 50%. I will always be the voice for the people in Israel. I will always stand behind the country of Israel. The one and only Floyd Money Mayweather in Israel.
Money.
I will always be here for you guys when you guys don't have a voice.
Okay, are we gonna say that because he's worth like $500 million? I'm seeing his estimated net worth is somewhere in the hundreds of millions. He's got hundreds of millions of dollars. He's not being paid off by Jews. He's made his money. He's worth hundreds of millions. So what is it that inspires him to come and do this? It's because he's a Christian, right? It's not because he's being paid by AIPAC. What are you going to say? Is he blackmailed? They're going to throw him in jail for tax fraud or something if he doesn't do this? That could be it. Blackmail? Yeah, could be blackmail. They're like, hey, you want to be Kanye, or you want to... This is what they wanted Kanye to do, but he refused. It's like, hey, you saw what we did to Kanye, White Freud. You want to be indicted by the government for something? You already know. Tax relief. Yeah, it's probably tax relief. Sex videos could be that too. He seems like he's under duress.
I said before, I'm not with you guys 10%, 50%. I will always be the voice for the people in Israel.
So what is it, 100%? You're just 100% on their side no matter what?
Country of Israel, the one and only.
Is he a Christian, though?
And like I said before,
slave.
Committed to fighting this garbage, and if you sit there and nod adoringly.
He doesn't look very happy to be there, no.
That Winston Churchill was the villain of World War II. If you sit there and nod while someone says, there's a very good argument America should have intervened on behalf of Nazi Germany in World War II. If you sit there with someone who says Adolf Hitler was very, very cool, and that their mission is to combat and defeat global Jewry, and you say nothing, then you are a coward.
What? So you just want to be ruled over by global Jewry? Or you're not, global Jewry isn't a thing. You're not at the Republican Jewish Coalition. There's not another conference like this for Jews like every other week, every other event, every other award, World Jewish Congress, Zionist Organization of America. They don't exist. It's just a myth. But then now that when you say you want to destroy it, World Global Jewry does destroy you. Is my Cash App active? I believe so. I don't know that I've gotten one for a while. I'll check. But it's in the description below.
And you are complicit in that evil. And I am committed to calling out this garbage. I am committed to fighting this garbage. And I am committed to going to young people and saying, these are poisonous lies.
What is this Hitler shit? I don't know. Anyway. Here's what I do know. You can sit in a basement with weird people and say weird things. It's a free country, right?
Is he drunk?
But if you ever run for office
He is.
as a Republican and you embrace this weird shit, we're going to beat your brains out. If you're an
I guess they don't have power. We're not allowed to talk about their power, their influence, or their deplatforming, and how you have to go along with the Israel slave agenda, otherwise they're going to beat your brains out. He's definitely drunk.
But with weird...
They're like, these, you and your little podcasts in your basements and your Stalin and Hitler and... He's tipsy, yeah.
People and say weird things. It's a free country, right? But if you ever run for office as a Republican and you embrace this weird shit, we're going to beat your brains out.
Yeah, go against Jews and you'll live in your mom's basement forever.
And you think because somebody loves Israel, their brain is wired? That means you got a brain. Nothing wrong with your brain.
He is so drunk.
Battlefield of political discourse, and we will beat you politically. I want the world to know anti-Semitism, anti-Israel rhetoric.
I just want to say one thing. She's like the drunk girl at the party. I just want to say one thing, actually. If you're against the Jews, like, we're going to destroy you. You don't stand a chance. You're going to be in your mom's
sent
basement.
$5 on Rumble. Ladybugs Lindsay. Gay for paying Jews.
Ladybug James Lindsay? I'll check out the Cash App, dude.
Thought is not the road to being elected as a Republican. You will lose.
Here's the deal. If you're running as a Republican for Senate or House or anything else, and you start playing this game of anti-Semitism, you know, Israel's not really our friends, you don't want to get entangled with the Jews because they run the world, all this crazy crap, you'll get creamed. When some...
Dude, if they don't run the world, then how do you get crinked?
Young college student suggests that maybe our support of Israel is misplaced, that we're spending too much money to help Israel. Israel gets us in more problems than they're worth. I say you need to pick up a history book. You know, the tenet of the faith of the evangelical community is God blesses those who bless Israel.
Pick up a history book like the Bible that says you're blessed if you bless the Jews. He says, pick up the history book. Now God's curses on the goy that don't bless the Jews is a history book. See, this is the problem with not acknowledging and not exposing that the Bible is fake Jewish fairy tales. Then it becomes a history book that says you got to bless the Jews or be cursed.
I read about it in a book.
Dude, that is so funny. When I was a kid, I was taught the Bible was a history book. I'm like, well, this is our best history? This is, wow, things were really crazy back then. Noah's Ark, really? So funny.
You know, the tenet of the faith of the evangelical community is God blesses those who bless Israel. There's nothing wrong with our brain being wired. If you don't like Jerusalem being the capital of Israel, then take it up with God. He's the one that did it, not me.
It's God. It's your God. Zion is his holy mountain. That's in Israel. Yeah, what does the Old Testament say about sodomy, Lindsay?
On heights back to Syria because they'll use it to attack Israel. Bottom line here is that we need to be clear, concise, and a bit emotional. We're going to stand by Israel. We're not going to fall out of God's favor. We're not going to pull the rug on one of the best allies.
We're not going to fall out of God's... Dude, Christianity needs a complete and total shutdown until we can solve this. This is unacceptable. Career politicians that think the Bible's a history book, that you fall out of the favor of God if you don't give Israel everything that they want, if you don't go to Israel and grovel and pander and say, Lindsey Graham, more for Israel. If you don't prostrate yourself like Lindsey Graham, when he goes to Israel like this, Netanyahu with a sign, holding up a sign like a little errand boy that says more for Israel, you don't do that, well, you'll fall out of the favor of God. And we're going to beat your brains out. You go grovel before Netanyahu like a good Christian, a good God-fearing goy, and hold the sign up that says more for Israel. Otherwise, we're going to beat your brains out if you say we run anything. Dude, what is this world that we're living in? Come on.
Doesn't anyone notice this? I feel like I'm taking crazy pills.
And why does he talk about the Bible? Because there's millions of Bible-believing, gullible sheep goy. Cattle that believe these Jewish lies. It's at the core of all of it. Hey, come on, you crusaders, a couple more memes. Call us Jewish a few more times. How about a few more pagan memes? How about a few more Christ is King chants? That's going to fix this. What?
Are you questioning my faith? You want to go?
Any American could hope to have, and we're going to help Israel make America safer by taking on radical Islamists who would come here if they could get here. That's the end.
They only want to come here and attack us because of our support for Israel. Our support for Israel, dude, their arguments are so bad. These arguments are so easily refuted, and they just keep regurgitating them over and over again for years.
Now, in my Bible, I believe every word of it is true, and I believe every promise that God made to the people of Israel remains a promise that is made to the chosen people.
Oh, my God. And it doesn't matter if Tucker confronts me and millions of groypers post memes about me working for the Jews. It doesn't matter because I'm in Congress and I got the millions and I get the book deals and go on all the big shows and we run things. Okay, that's the real world. You and your little podcast and your little basements and your kosher conspiracies and your denials and your copes, it's gonna do nothing but give us our boogeyman we need. That's all that's happening.
This prophecy is how they enslave us.
And the last I checked, Jesus was a Jew.
No, Bryce Mitchell's going to save us from
And
God's
I will
chosen
tell
people.
you, at least for me, I am very proud to be a Christian Zionist.
Actually, if anything, I'm here to thank you as the Jewish community for converting us. Because every blessing in my Christian life is the byproduct of your Jewish religion, your culture, your history, and your values. Genesis
Who is this
12:3,
guy?
which you read this weekend, is the verse.
Who's this guy?
He talks like a fag, too.
Who is he?
A verse that every evangelical knows by heart. I
Here
will
we
bless
go.
those who bless you, and whoever curses you, I will curse. This is not poetry, it's theology. We don't stand with Israel because it's convenient. Often it isn't.
theology.
We don't stand with Israel because it's easy. Rarely is it. We stand out of conviction because you're
Onyx Rock $105 Republican Jewish Coalition. More like blackmailed Goyim Coalition.
I don't think it's all blackmailed. It's brainwashed. It's brainwashed by religion. Listen to him closely. This is what, funny, See Through It All and Need More Amalek and our guys had to go up and clip it because most of the Christian e-crusaders are going to avoid all of this stuff. They avoid how kosher and the whole thing is because Christianity is at the root of all of this. They don't clip it up.
book is our book. Your heroes are our heroes, and your values are our values.
Cucked. Christian cucked. And this is why we must abandon. This is what they'll always use against us as long as we're Christian.
It isn't. We don't stand with Israel because it's easy. Rarely is it. We stand out of conviction because your book is our book. Your heroes are our heroes, and your values are our values.
And there's the problem.
The equation is really quite simple. When America blesses Israel and remains the best home for the Jews outside of Israel itself, then America will be blessed. The U.S.-Israel partnership, it's not only about America's interest.
Dude, it's not only this guy's voice, dude. How are all there? It's like they've been cursed with these voices. What's up with these voices? Hold on. Who is this guy, by the way? Okay. Need More Amalek. I thought you did the write-up on him. Started clipping this up. Incredible display of Christian philo-Semitism. E-Crusaders understand that you enabled this when you prevent people from criticizing Christianity as a whole and gatekeep discussions on the Bible. You enable this. Philo-Semitic and anti-white Christian leaders. This is Reverend Johnny Moore, Liberty University assistant to Jerry Falwell. Founded the Kairos Company, PR firm specializing in evangelical and faith-based clients. This one man is more powerful and represents more Christians than all the coping, lying e-crusaders combined. The money and status he receives are just icing on the cake. He knows the Bible far better than any of these biblically illiterate accounts on X. Your religion is being used as a subversive force against our people. E-Crusaders want us to shut up about this as they do nothing about it. And then a little ode. Forget about it. Forget about it. Nice touch there, Amalek. Forget about it. Oops, wrong one.
It's the secret to our success. And we
Being Jew slaves.
It's the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. The God who
Abraham,
keeps his
Isaac,
promises.
and Jacob.
The God who chose a people and gave them a land and told the rest of us that how we treat them will determine how we're treated. And
Hey, guys, big question here. How come none of the big clipping accounts, none of the big influencers shared this clip of this guy? Because they suppress it. They help cover up how bad it is.
How we're remembered.
Little Adolf Fuente.
Dude, somebody needs to ask this guy. I'm sure at Bible camp, the Christian that was like, hey, man, I don't know if we should worship Jews so much. This seems pretty cucked. He's like, no, we have to. Genesis 12. I'd be like,
all right, man, I need to ask you something, and I need you to tell me the truth. Are you a fag?
You know he got asked that. Hand selected to heir to Jerry Falwell. Let's see.
My name is Johnny Moore, and I am a Christian Zionist.
He said the line.
I want to thank you for having me here tonight. I know inviting a reverend for Shabbat is a little unorthodox, pun intended. I promise, though, I brought my own wine. Actually, I'm a Baptist, so I brought grape juice.
That's funny.
But I'm also
Don't worry, I won't mess up your kosher wine.
not going to try to turn your water into anything tonight. I also promise, as an evangelical Christian, to not try to convert anyone to anything unless you're a Democrat, and then all bets are off.
Don't worry, Jews, I won't try to convert you to Jesus. You can go to heaven without him.
Actually, if anything, I'm here to thank you as the Jewish community for converting us. Because every blessing in my Christian life is the byproduct of your Jewish religion, your culture, your history, and your values.
Oh my gosh. Add it to the compilation, guys. Add it to the mix. Funny, all the Christians on all the stages and with the big influence and the big YouTube channels and the mega churches and the foundations and the millions of dollars and never censored. They all talk like this, and you are systematically going to be crushed. As soon as they want to flip the switch and drop the hammer, all of this noticing and viral tweets is going to boop, be gone.
Gave them a land and told the rest of us that how we treat them will determine how we're treated and how we're remembered.
Little Adolf Fuentes. You're people.
Those who call for the extermination of Israel.
And foremost, by calling it out.
Views went unchallenged.
That's how.
Given platform, where this is a guy who says Hitler was cool, has specifically said that Jews should be terminated if,
Hold on. White Falcon says they gave this guy $30 million of our tax dollars to run the mass murdering foundation in the heart of Gaza. This Christian guy, they gave him $30 million to do some Gaza stuff? Is that what you're saying?
In the next round of white nationalist leadership.
Dude, look at the state of our politics and all the Christians, and people go like, it's not really religion though, Adam. Adam, why do you gotta keep talking about religion? You're not gonna convert anybody. They're not gonna give up their faith, man. Just keep quiet about the whole Jesus is fake and Jewish thing, man. Stop being divisive, dude, and calling out this Jewish religion. Like, we won't have kids without it, man. What are you, anti-white? This is how bad the state of affairs are, and these guys want to counter-signal me online for exposing this fake Jewish religion.
And those views went unchallenged, which a number of speakers have talked tonight about this rise of anti-Semitism on the right. What's going on? Is this a little
right, Sarah? Religion is such a major component. Anybody trying to minimize it is full of shit. When I talked to Dan Bilzerian on a space months ago, he was like, I don't really think it's a religion problem. It's just like Jewish supremacy, not religion. He couldn't even condemn Judaism, let alone admit that Jesus is Jewish and the Christians are like, they're getting away with this. Their greatest weapon is Christianity.
Or is this a big problem that's growing?
It's a problem, and if it's not addressed now, it will grow.
if the Republican Party doesn't address its own fetid corners, then the Democrats will have a legitimate way to say, look, you've got this big problem and you're only one step away, or so on. So there's no...
One step away from what? Nazi America? Is that what that's what he thinks the left's going to say?
Reason why, you know, I mean, I don't need to insult the guy, but why the person you just mentioned's name should be on our lips. This is just, there are some people who...
Yeah, any influencer that doesn't want to, that's scared to criticize the religious aspect, they're scared of offending Christians and losing support. That's what it is. We'll just worry about religion after we win. No more pagan Christian infighting. Hey, Adam, why you got to focus on all Christians? How about just focus on the Christian Zionist? Dude, the non-Zionist Christians are enabling the Christian Zionists, telling them that the Bible's real. They just got it wrong, but the Bible's real. They've just been, remember like Tucker's going to say with Fuentes, he's like, yeah, it's a mind virus. How anybody can fall for this mind virus of Schofield Zionism? Like, dude, you've fallen for the mind virus of believing the Bible's real to begin with. You're in no position to point the finger.
For those of us who know history, there are some people who are simply doing the following intellectual trick. They're reheating a bit of Buchananism, they're reheating some David Irvingism, and they're doing it now, and they're getting away with it for a very specific historic reason. If I could just say what I think that is. They're getting away with it now for the first time from the right because of the fact that the generation of Holocaust survivors is basically died out.
Oh, come on.
These people did not...
They're not browbeat. We're not able to browbeat the Goyim enough. The younger generation with all the Holocaust survivors. Dude, all I've ever hear about is Holocaust survivors. Every single chance you get in this conversation, the Holocaust is being brought up. We need more Holocaust indoctrination to squelch this uprising of the Goyim noticing. Like, that's what it sounds like to me. Survive the Jive. Yeah, I'll have him on. I don't know if he will, but I would talk to him. I would like that.
I mean, I don't need to insult the guy, but why the person you just mentioned's name should be on our lips. This is just, there are some people who are, for those of us who know history, there are some people who are simply doing the following intellectual trick. They're reheating a bit of Buchananism, they're reheating some David Irvingism.
It's an intellectual trick.
They're doing it now, and they're getting away with it for a very specific
Pete Rules
historic
247 sent $10 on Rumble. Hey Adam,
thank you,
I think you should make a satirical video of a brainwashed Christian who actively wants to fulfill prophecy and be enslaved. It might make Christians rethink about following the mind virus.
Great idea, and I will do that. Absolutely. I'll make a cringe Christian TikTok account and just say the most cringe cucked things ever. And really highlight them with parody.
If I could just say what I think that is. They're getting away with it now for the first time from the right because of the fact that the generation of Holocaust survivors is...
We need more Holocaust survivors.
Sent $5 on Rumble. Anyone can make a propaganda video. Just gather up a bunch of corpses and say your enemy did this. Hermann Goering.
Yep. Or like the David Irving tricks, like the pile of shoes aren't the piles of shoes aren't working anymore. That's what's allowing this to happen. That's why I lost my debate to Dave Smith on Joe Rogan. Have you been there?
People did not dare do this in the face of the immovable object of the survivors of the Shoah.
Oh my God.
But now, some people to the furthest fringes of the right are seeing the opportunity to do this. All we have to do...
The anti-Semites are in the basements. Like, I don't see any more Holocaust survivors around. Time to go. Standing by and standing down. Let's go. Let's try to genocide the Jews again. Like, these people, the pictures they try to paint.
On the right, you in the Republican Party, is to just hold the line that you all know you can hold. And to say no. Nowhere near us.
Thank you.
Nowhere near us. And it's not like it's hard. And if...
Thank you.
You know, the various characters who want to platform these people and think it's edgy and it's cool. There's nothing very edgy or cool.
I decide what cool is. Isn't he like he's like a gay Shabbos Goy Englishman? I decide what cool is.
About doing that on the right any more than there was on the left.
Yeah, terrified of debate, all they can do is browbeat.
Think of those far leftists who like to play with Castro and Mao and Stalin and all of that. Not at all. It's a rancid, fetid habit from the far left. Same thing with these guys with the right. And no, don't ask this person on and then just say you're just asking questions and give them softball interviews and come on. Anyhow, I don't know what's gone wrong with some of these people, but I don't think it's going to be hard to counter. As somebody mentioned earlier, I'm still pretty strong on the idea that being anti-Hitler remains mainstream.
I grew up the victim of rampant, systemic, and physical anti-Semitism, where it was not safe for me to eat in the cafeteria with the other students.
Oh, he was a little fat. He was the little fat Jewish kid getting picked on, huh? That's what fueled. That's the origin story, the genesis of Randy Fine. He was a little fat kid that got made fun of at the lunch table.
Principal saved my life by letting me hide in his office when I needed to.
Oh my God! Just like Anne Frank hiding in the floorboards, Randy Fine was hidden from the middle school, elementary school pogroms in the principal's office.
Facing violence no 12-year-old ever should have to. On the day of my
Anne Frank, what did I say? Did I not say Anne Frank? Did I misspeak?
I promised I would do everything that I could to make sure my children did not face what I did. And for 8 years, as a member of the Florida legislature, I worked hard to deliver on that promise, to make Florida the safest place in America to be Jewish. Those of you who are from Florida know that. We were the first state to adopt the IRA definition of anti-Semitism, to name CARE a terrorist organization, to ensure Jewish day schools had adequate security, and to make sure terrorist encampments could never take hold at Florida's
To have the Noahide Law moment of silence in the public schools.
Universities. Every one of those was my bill. I'm the first member of Congress in American history to wear a kippah. And I'm going to tell you why. I am not Orthodox. But when I got to Congress, they put me on the Education Committee. And on May the 6th, we had our first hearing to deal with anti-Semitism. And in that morning, my son, Jacob, who's 17 years old, said, "Dad, I think you should wear a kippah today." And I said, "Why? We only wear a kippah at services." He said, "Because I have friends like these down here who go to college and who are afraid to wear theirs. So you go wear one for them." And I did. And I gave those college presidents a piece of my mind. And at the end of that day, you should find the YouTube videos. At the end of the day, my son said, "Dad, I want you to keep wearing it until every college student feels safe permanently wearing their kippah." In our faith.
But aren't they also saying that they feel less safe than ever?
Forces of evil for 3,000 years. We've never been afraid.
Evil. Anything that ever opposes them is evil. It drives me crazy that this is how they do it.
Because we're guided by Hashem's demand that we bring light to the world. That we stand before the darkness and we be prepared to do what is right.
We're hated because we're so good and right and chosen and on our mission from God.
God puts us where he wants us to be. Not just for me as a congressman, but for all of you. For all of these kids down here. For all of you in the audience. God wants you to be right here, right now, engaged in that fight. And today in this room and at this time, we speak with one loud and convincing truth. We will not let our party fall to this darkness.
I know what God has said.
The darkness of Esau.
What God mean to people like me as a Christian. And we have to stand by those principles to the very end. And I'm going to say this, because I know a lot of you guys in here are bold and courageous, But this is the time to be more bold than ever before.
Bold?
Anti-Semitism in America is out of control. And it's no longer a time where you can sit back and watch others perform and watch others stand up for what's right. You have to get off of your butt, get online or wherever you need to get and stand up for what's real and what's...
Get online and defend the Jews in tweets. That's what he's calling for. He's like, I'm getting ratioed left and right. I need your help over here. Hasbara, send in your bots. Unit 8200, get the JIDF in here.
It's true. And let me say this. I will never capitulate. I will never give credence to foolish people who are anti-Semitic, who are racist, people who hate America. I will never support them. I don't care how long you've been podcasting. I don't care how many follows you got. I don't care how much money you got. When you platform somebody, bring somebody on your show and let them just dog out Jewish people, let them just dog out and say they support Stalin, I will never support you. I see somebody.
Dude, isn't it amazing? It must be so amazing to be Nick right now. Like, all of politics is just like feasing over him so hard. So much attention.
With a sign said Tucker is not MAGA. I guess I got to put his name out there. That's not MAGA. Quit lying to yourself. Quit trying to cover. You just hate Jews. Just say it.
They always say that.
I'm just asking questions no more. You're not just asking questions. Asking questions means you do your research first before you put something out into the atmosphere. It's not asking questions to make accusations.
They always try to dismiss you by saying, oh, you just hate. You just hate. That's just hate. You're just Amalek. Oh, it's a law of nature. They're the good and God's on their side, and if you're against it, you're evil and you're cursed and you hate. That's all they ever say.
Jews run the world. You are a fool. If you somehow think that Bibi Netanyahu...
Six Flags is shut down.
Trump, you are a fool. And then October the 7th happened. And I was so upset because good, innocent people were killed.
Oh, maybe just one location.
Since people who were hostage or who were held hostage for 490 days. People in the IDF. And I don't want to relive this for you, but it was a moment that made me so upset and angry because I can see a very similar, I have a very similar feeling that if that happened to America, how would I feel? And the first thing that came out of my mouth, and y'all keep praying for me, I said, I want them to turn the place into a parking lot.
What?
I got to preface it.
He wants
to clip this and put it on the internet. Not because of the Palestinian people per se, individual people, but because if you dare to do such an atrocity to people that I love, people that I respect, people that are chosen by God, you decide to do something like that, you should never have an opportunity to do it again. And it should be an example.
So collective punishment
in the world.
So he just said he wants to turn Gaza to a parking lot, but they're going to sit up here and browbeat and lecture us
Green Pill Muslim
on what's allowed to be said.
Who is this house slave nagger?
He's some internet influencer, YouTuber, Tatum, Officer Tatum. He's a former police officer. So because 1,000 Hamas guys did something on October 7th, the 2 million people living in Gaza should be turned to a parking lot?
That if you ever think about trying something like this, your country will cease to exist. And I want to finish.
Oh, America? So if America doesn't give Israel everything at once, abandons Israel, betrays Israel, whatever they want to say, divides the land of Israel, we don't exist?
Like this. God bless you. I love you too.
Such a shabos.
God bless Israel. God bless all my Jewish brothers and sisters out here. God
such
bless
a token.
America, and y'all keep fighting a good fight.
Dude, they're paying him nice for this. Oh, remember this guy?
Nazis are evil and anti-Semitism is repulsive.
Dude, I've never seen such a thin face. Dude, this guy, he looks like he could fit through the bars of the banister of the balcony.
In our party, we don't give platforms to people who support Stalin or Hitler. Make no mistake, we must fully combat anti-Semitism. Make no mistake, we should not give credence,
No, you all need to just worship Jesus.
credibility, or attention to hate.
Yeah, collective punishment.
And ladies and gentlemen, make no mistake, the Republican Party and the most pro-Israel president in the history of the United States will continue to fight anti-Semitism and protect the Jewish people and stand firmly and decisively with Israel.
I want to be clear about something. If you want to be anti-Semitic, there's already one political party that features that. Our side cannot tolerate anti-Semitism.
What's this guy's name? Rick Scott? Rick Scott is the one with the big Israeli flag in his office, right?
We cannot and we will not put up with that in our Republican Party.
The Jewish
All
Republican
of us
Party.
Onyx Rock sent $5. Tatum is pressed because the Jewish God was the only opportunity for his ugly self to race mix. That's why he hates Nick BTW.
Is that it? What, does he have a white wife or something?
Clock. I have a bill.
Never heard that one. Dude, look at this guy in his office with an Israeli flag, foreign flag that big.
Hi, Senator Rick Scott here.
Hi.
I hear from Americans, it seems like every day, they're sick and tired of changing their clocks back and forth.
Look at this
We
ghoul.
need to lock the clock. Now we have President Trump in the White House. He agrees. Lock the clock. I have a bill.
Oh, this was last year. Last year.
Lock the clock and stop this forever changing twice a year. So let's make sure this is the last time we have to change our clocks.
Well, that didn't happen. Dude, look at that big old Israeli flag he's got there, telling us what our movement, what we're going to allow. I mean, it's always been their movement, though. This idea like MAGA's changed, like MAGA's been taken over by Zionists. Dude, MAGA was always Zionist. I was trying to tell you from day one.
Stand together and condemn anti-Semitism and hatred wherever we see it. So, I'm grateful.
Trev
for everybody.
True Siggy sent $5 on
True
Rumble.
Siggy, thank you.
Thanks for the follow on Instagram. Finally caught a stream of yours again. Greetings from Sweden.
Shout out Sweden.
Here that's busting their butt to get Republicans elected. I'm very appreciative of what you're doing to help Israel and fight anti-Semitism. If there's anything I can do to be supportive, give me a call. Have a great night. Bye-bye.
Rick Scott, another Christian.
Want to call into question certain things when it comes to Israel. Let me be very clear. In our party, we will not tolerate anti-Semitism.
Rick Scott, graduate of Oklahoma Christian University. Is that the same one? Oh, Rick Scott, supported by the Family Research Council.
We will not tolerate bigotry. Because let me tell you a quick story. I was in Israel back in 2019. I went to Israel and I was in country for 9 days. And on that trip, what came up a lot was how it was Jewish people who stood with black people in America when they were being persecuted.
This is what it is. This is why we see all the blacks here. They're really pushing the Black-Jewish alliance against Whitey. That's what it is.
And so what we are
They're rallying all of the races against
definitely
Esau.
those in the Democrat Party, and then some in other parts of politics try to demonize Jewish Americans here and try to weaken or destroy the relationship between the United States of America and the nation of Israel. And you have my word that going forward, Florida will always stand for freedom and liberty, and we will never tolerate anti-Semitism.
Newsmax doesn't run, and we tell the truth. And the truth includes
another Christian Chris Ruddy of Newsmax, another Christian.
Not just when it's easy, but when it's hard. I was only 19 years old when I first traveled to Israel to study at the Hebrew University. Menachem Begin was the prime minister at the time. I remember it very well.
Dude, he went to Hebrew University.
But I was a
Christ
little
cuck
shocked
moment.
as a teenager, discovering how many lies there were about media, in the big media, about Israel. And what's incredible is all these years later, things haven't changed. They've actually gotten worse. The media continues to twist the facts, erase.
Good point, Brother B. They have the Edom Eagle with the Star of David punched through it. On top of it, the star over the eagle. The Star of Jacob over the Eagle of Edom. Good eye. Good point.
Context often portray Israel, our lone democratic ally in the Middle East, as the bad guy, as the aggressor. I mean, they get attacked on October 7th and they're the bad guy. It's worse today because the liberal media echo chamber is more effective than it was so many years ago. At Newsmax, we're pushing back. We've told the world what really happened on October 7th. We've shown the faces of the victims, the stories of the hostages, the courage of the Israeli people. Because truth matters, and silence in the face of lies is complicity. On October 7th, we were all Israelis. But tonight, I want to talk to you about something else, something that's just as troubling. We expect attacks on Israel from the far left. But increasingly, we're seeing dangerous rhetoric from the right in America. Now, I don't call these people conservatives. Mark Levine sitting over there, he's a conservative. Real conservatives don't spread hate, but some of these voices, people like Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens,
only hate for Palestinians and Muslims,
have made it their mission to target Israel. All the problems of the world left in America and the world, and they're focused on Israel. You got to wonder what's going on here. They even question its right to defend itself, and they've made statements and taken actions that really undermine Israel's very right to exist. These folks are spreading old lies and anti-Semitic claims like the ones that Jews secretly control America. They control everything. Don't forget,
not so secretly.
It's the same lie the Nazis told. The Jews controlled everything. They controlled Britain. They controlled the United States.
Oh, dude, you can't talk. Nobody can talk about Jewish control of anything because the Nazis said it. Funny how that little trick works. If you talk about their control of anything, they're going to use their control to crush you and ban you from everywhere. And they all have the power, and you're just nobodies in your mommy's basements. But they're going to kvetch about you all day.
Now it's being repackaged.
Do they not even see? They lack the self-awareness to see how they come across.
For a new generation of Americans, amplified by millions of dollars pouring into social media from bad actors around the world. That really needs to be investigated by Congress. Some even...
You mean like how the Jews just forced TikTok to sell? Now it's under Jewish control and there's an IDF person in charge of the algorithms over there from Israel? Maybe that should be investigated.
Claim, as Tucker recently did in another post, that the Bible completely got it wrong. Jews aren't the chosen people of God. Imagine that. He's now a biblical scholar, and he can overturn 2,000 years of Christian and Jewish teachings. Make no mistake about this. This is an information war we're fighting. I've said it.
Make no mistake about this. This is a spiritual religious war, spiritual battle, not Satan versus Jesus, Jewish religions versus not believing in Jewish religions. That is Make no mistake about it. That is what this fight is. They're trying to tell you when they say that you're the neo-pagans now and you're not real Christians. And you're just going to keep saying, no, we are. Narrow path. The Anon e-crusaders on the internet. Nick Fuentes is the real Christian, not the Pope. Pastor Steven Anderson and Rick Wiles. And what's the guy? Balkans, whatever his name is. They're the real Christians, not all of the ones that run all the Christian institutions and mega churches. Baldwin, Chuck Baldwin, that's the name I was looking for.
Before, and I believe it even more strongly today, that Benjamin Netanyahu is the Churchill of our time.
Oh my God. I remember he was glazing Netanyahu on stage at some other event recently. Yeah, Stu Peters is the real Christian. I mean, who do you think's going to win? Fuentes, Stu Peters, Chuck Baldwin, Rick Wiles, Pastor Steven Anderson, Joel Webbin, or the whole big Jesus institution and all the book publishers and all of the mega churches and all of the huge YouTube channels and foundations and millions? Who's going to come out on top?
His leadership against Iran didn't just save Israel, it saved America and the West.
The West. They all repeat this talking points.
A nuclear-armed Iran would not only threaten Tel Aviv, but New York, London, Las Vegas, Los Angeles.
Oh, come on.
And every city that values freedom.
Yeah,
as
right.
As long as I have a platform, Newsmax will stand on the side of truth, the side of freedom, the side of Israel.
Israel is our ally. It is a symbol of what democracy can be.
Who is this guy?
And it is the only true democracy in the Middle East. So let us be clear. Israel is not an oppressor. Israel is not committing genocide. Israel is a beacon of freedom, of hope, and opportunity, and we will always stand with our ally Israel. Everybody decries the one Jewish state in the world. Interestingly, none of those people...
Oh, yeah, I forgot. E. Michael Jones, the real Catholic. Who's the real Catholics? E. Michael Jones and Nick Fuentes or the Pope? Who do you think's going to win?
Say one word about Arab states. Why is it they are so outraged about the thought of a Jewish state? Because it is rooted in anti-Semitism. Let us be clear, anti-Zionism is anti-Semitism.
They all speak in mantras.
Of anti-Semitism is one of the reasons why I introduced the Anti-Semitism Awareness Act.
Oh, that's who this is. He's a Catholic. Mike Lawler, the Catholic Mike Lawler, introduced the Anti-Semitism Act, the IHRA definition of anti-Semitism. And then these Christians go, the Jews are trying to ban the Bible. And it's a Catholic guy that's introducing it.
The Department of Education to adopt the IHRA working definition of anti-Semitism when investigating and enforcing civil rights law and enforcing and upholding Title VI of the 1964 Civil Rights Act. I'm also advancing the Countering Hate Against Israel Act, pushing back on those who use taxpayer dollars to delegitimize the Jewish state, and the IGO Anti-Boycott Act to fight back against the insidious BDS movement promoted by the United Nations.
Yeah, they got everybody in Congress that talks like this, besides a couple people. Pushing all these new laws, all these anti-boycott laws, all these censorship laws, ADL and everything they're doing. And you think you're going to beat them with your memes, your ratio on Twitter? They're allowing that to happen. It's part of the script. BDSM laws,
Trump's
kinky.
First term, he adopted legislation to hold countries to account that try to coerce and force U.S. companies to engage in the BDS movement. I am simply seeking to expand that definition to include the United Nations and hold that institution accountable for its anti-Israel, anti-U.S., anti-Jewish bigotry and hatred.
Oh my God. UN. The UN so evil and anti-Jewish. Everybody's anti-Jewish.
And I've been receiving pushback for doing that from those on the right, like Marjorie Taylor Greene. Who knew that Marjorie Taylor Greene was such a fan of the United Nations? It's pathetic, it's embarrassing, and we must pass that legislation immediately. Folks, we will ensure that the Department of Education finally holds colleges accountable for the explosion of anti-Semitism on campuses since October 7th. This moment demands courage. Anti-Semitism threatens not just the Jewish community, but the moral fabric of our nation. Hamas is the face of evil, and Israel has every right to defend itself. And the United States must stand with Israel without hesitation or apology. That is what leadership looks like. That is what the Republican Party, the party of Lincoln and Reagan and Trump, is delivering once again. We are the...
You see, what happens? Oh, Nick Fuentes goes on Tucker. They run and report anti-Semitism more than ever on Twitter. Anti-Semitism on X study. X, one of the most effective tools for spreading anti-Semitism ever in history. That's the headlines. I told you how the headlines are being written, this narrative that we're going to see. And now what do? Everything is about simping for Jews. Everything is about being defenders of Jews. All the discussion, how they're going to crush anti-Semitism. The Pope coming out making a statement about opposing anti-Semitism. If you really think Nick Fuentes and Alex Jones and Tucker and Steve Bannon and E. Michael Jones and Dan Bilzerian are going to take down the power structure, good luck.
Party that stands up for Israel's right to exist, for America's alliance with the Jewish people, and for the fundamental truth that good and evil are not morally equivalent.
Jews good, anything not Jews bad and evil.
In a world filled with moral confusion, we choose clarity. In a time of weakness, we choose strength. And in the face of hatred, we choose courage. As Psalm says, pray for the peace of Jerusalem. May those who love you be secure. That's what we're fighting for. Security, freedom, and peace for Israel, for the Jewish people, and for the United States of America. So let each of us here recommit ourselves to standing with Israel, to combating anti-Semitism, and to ensure that America remains a steadfast ally and defender of the Jewish people. Because it's not only the right thing to do, it is the moral thing to do. Thank you. God bless you. God bless Israel. And may God bless the United States of America.
Oh, my God. God bless. God bless. Hashem blesses.
My life in recent years is that I probably got more rabbis in my life than anyone has a right to have. And I probably go to synagogue more often than some of you. But
good ending. Yeah, E-Crusader Gripers will be like, these aren't the real Christians, derp. But my Vatican II, though, derp.
If you sit there and...
We need a new crusade. We need Jesus. We need real Christianity, derp. RNC chairman.
And instead of being condemned, anti-Semites are far too often. We're facing a rising tide of anti-Semitism in this country.
We're watching them
We're
all.
seeing Jewish Americans harassed, assaulted, and targeted for violence at an alarming and unprecedented rates.
This is just a kvetch fest. This whole conference is a kvetch fest.
Including the Ivy League college campuses, not only tolerate,
shut it down conference.
actively foster anti-Semitism.
Yeah, we need Jesus more than ever.
Condemned anti-Semites are far too often given a public platform and allowed to spew their hatred without consequence. As I speak to you, we are on the verge of seeing Zohran Mamdani, a communist anti-Semite who refused to explicitly condemn Hamas or the phrase globalized intifada, elected as mayor of our nation's largest city.
Yeah, that's good one, notice it. Without Jesus, we will stoop to their level. Yeah, and actually stop losing.
Democrat candidates for governor in New Jersey, Mickey Sherrill, campaigned with an avid supporter of anti-Semite Louis Farrakhan, and Abigail Spanberger, running for governor in Virginia, has failed to condemn a fellow Democrat legislator who made overly anti-Semitic remarks. These are not isolated incidents. Anti-Semitism has found a home in the Democrat Party. Instead of standing up for Jewish Americans over the last 4 years, Joe Biden and the Democrats
Liam Jarrett sent $5 on Rumble. Shekels for one of the most epic KMN shows ever. Ramen for Liam now. Simon Goy.
Ramen, love ramen.
We're silent.
Thank you, Liam.
Thankfully, last November's voters said enough. We now have a president who is fighting to stop this scourge that has spread across our country. President Trump promised on the campaign trail that he would be the best friend Jewish Americans ever had in the White House. And I believe he has delivered on that promise. One of President Trump's first actions when he took office was to sign an executive order to take unprecedented steps to combat anti-Semitism. He ordered the Justice Department to stop pro-Hamas rioters and protect Jewish Americans from harassment. He said that if you're a foreigner in this country and you celebrate Hamas campaign of kidnapping, rape, and murder, you're going to be deported. And he created a new Justice Department task force solely dedicated to fighting anti-Semitism.
Oh my God, so boring.
Also fulfilled his promise to go after colleges and universities that allow
We're going to go after anti-Semitism
on our campuses.
on our campuses.
Under his leadership, the Department of Education is investing
RNC chairman.
60.
Dude, why are we ruled over by these types?
Semitic harassment and discrimination. He forced
Harassment.
Columbia University to pay $20 million to Jewish employees who were targeted by the pro-Hamas mobs after the October 7th attacks.
Oh, come on. Come on. Framing it as pro-Hamas, the protest on college campuses, pro-Hamas mobs. A girl got attacked with the flagpole.
By the way, that's the largest ever settlement for victims of anti-Semitism for workers of any religion.
Dude, every sentence
Schools have
has
failed to protect Jewish
anti-Semitism.
students. President Trump stood up and cut off billions of federal funding.
Take a shot every time they say anti-Semitism. Oh man, nobody would survive that. Here's the same guy. Oh, no. This is Republican Jewish Coalition's Matt Brooks tells Chabad of Aspen he spent a lot of time talking to Netanyahu about the existential threat of the woke right, Fuentes, Tucker Carlson, and Candace Owens.
Like Mark Let me be honest about a point. Anti-Semitism exists on the right as well. Voices like Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, Nick Fuentes, Stu Peters are unacceptable and dangerous. And we at the Republican Jewish Coalition take this threat very seriously. We work independently and in partnership with allies like Mark Levin and Ben Shapiro to call it out and root it out. We must be vigilant, always. We do not ignore it, we confront it loudly and consistently. And one of the reasons that we are so fixated on combating the rise of the woke right in our party is a couple of reasons.
Woke right is the worst name.
We saw what was happening in the Democratic Party early on, and we sounded the alarms when the rise of Rashida Tlaib and Ilhan Omar, and they started getting elected. And all of our friends on the left and in the Democratic Party would say, "Oh, you're just being, you're just trying to scare everybody. It's the fringe. They're not, they're irrelevant. They're not in power. They're whatever." Meanwhile, as they turned a blind eye to that, That quote-unquote fringe has now become the mainstream and taken over the Democratic Party.
Fringe has become mainstream, taking over the Democratic Party. I remember they did the same thing with Alex Jones. All the attacks on Alex Jones are like the conspiracy theorists have taken over the Republican Party. Now it's the anti-Semites have taken over the Republican Party.
To the point where the Democratic Party is no longer recognizable as the Democratic Party of my...
Imagine thinking because Tucker Carlson talked to Nick Fuentes one time, and because of Candace Owens, that now they're mainstream and they've taken over the Republican Party. That's not even true. And they're doing it because scare tactic, fearmonger, alarmist.
My parents and my grandparents. But the bigger issue, and this is something that I've spent a lot of time thinking about, and I'm talking to Prime Minister Netanyahu and others about, is the threat from the woke right is existential. And by that I mean, if we don't combat the woke right now, and if it follows the trajectory of what happened in the Democratic Party and gets a foothold and ultimately becomes the mainstream of the Republican Party, there is no party and nobody in politics to support Israel. Israel will be alone. Without a strong pro-Israel Republican Party, there is no support for Israel. If we lose the Republican Party, Israel has nobody.
They lose the Republican, they have nobody. That was a while back.
Let me be honest.
But it's his Republican Jewish coalition. More from Ready? Oh, we watched that part already. Okay, Charlie Kirk was planning to be at the Republican Jewish Coalition event before he was murdered. He was going to go. Charlie Kirk was going to go. So they presented him Charlie Kirk Freedom Award to the Levine family, who helped fund, arm the IDF, and also TPUSA CPAC. Bizarre spectacle. Here's an ad for the Levine family's IDF drone school. Okay.
Charlie.
Check this out. This is Elon Carr. He was the former anti-Semitism czar.
Charlie Kirk had planned to attend this summit and spend time with us this weekend. And boy, do we miss him. We feel his absence not only this weekend, but we feel his absence in our world. Charlie's genius, Charlie's vision, was that he understood that to guarantee the future of our country, we have to focus on the next generation. Rabbi Jonathan Sachs, Zichrono Zecher Tzadik Livracha, said to defend a country you need an army, but to defend a civilization you need education. And so Charlie focused on education. And he passionately dedicated himself to students. And so how fitting it is that tonight, for the very first time, RJC is presenting the Charlie Kirk Freedom Award. That's right. We are presenting the Charlie Kirk Freedom Award to similar visionaries. Dear friends, thank you. Thank you. Look at this. Thank you so much for everything you have done for the Jewish people and for the United States. It is such a pleasure for all of us.
And the United States.
It is such an honor and a pleasure for all of us here to present this to you. It is a token of our profound gratitude for everything you've done for us and for our future. And I'm going to read this. The Republican Jewish Coalition proudly presents the Charlie Kirk Freedom Award in grateful recognition to the Levine family, honoring Charlie's lasting memory by inspiring leadership.
Dominic sent $10. Does he serve towels with that shower?
Yeah, he really had that Hebrew down. Elon Carr. I thought he wasn't Jewish. Maybe he is Jewish.
Students championing Jewish and pro-Israel values and fostering the next generation of Jewish leaders. Ladies and gentlemen, round of applause for this incredible family. Thank you so much.
On behalf of our family,
I am deeply honored to receive the Charlie Kirk Award.
Hold on. They're giving a Charlie Kirk's award to this old Jewish guy that apparently took a stumble or something?
Emperor Odin sent $5 on Rumble. These Christian Zionists become more nauseating each day. I can't understand how they live with themselves. I thank you for exposing these, since the online crusaders deludedly think we're winning.
I know. We're so winning, man. They're so scared. No, they're just mobilizing. They like to kvetch. They like to play victim. They like to feel persecuted. They like to talk about the Nazi anti-Semitic threat. That's their whole shtick.
Our oldest grandson, Shimon, my son, Stephen.
Dude, what do these guys do?
Both
Charlie
of them
Kirk
have been working since October 7th to help make a difference in Israel. They built 2 drone bases since before October 7th. Israel didn't have drones. So Shimon and Stephen helped build and finance the 2 drone bases, where we now graduate about 30 students a week in each. At Turning Point and CPAC, my son sponsors Friday night dinners and Saturday lunches for young Jewish students. Bringing them together, helping them stay connected, not with just each other, but with the Jewish people. And hopefully, damn, it's hard, hopefully helping them find their spouses.
Okay, I can't handle anymore.
Is the only thing that we have. For me, it's about investing in the future of the Jewish people, ensuring that our values, our voices, help shape the future of America.
Yeah. Oh, they're not trying to shape the future. They're not trying to shape. Here's the ad for his IDF drone school. Check this out.
After the events of October 7th, a new school was founded inside the counter-terror unit, the Levine family FPV drone school. In here, we take soldiers that have never touched a drone in their life and move them from 0 to hero in an intense 3-day course. In here, we teach them basic and advanced flying techniques. We teach them how to prepare and execute a drone mission, and how to deal with electrical interferences.
אני עין מסיירת גולני, וסיימתי עכשיו את קורס הרצפנים של יחידת הלוט"ר. בעצם הגעתי לפה לקורס.
I want a new drone. I love drones. I had a drone. I had a DJI Mavic Air, the original one, and I've wanted a new drone. It broke a few years ago. I wanted a new one so bad, and they just banned drones. They banned DJI drones. Can't even get the new ones anymore.
It's
like the coolest toy I've ever had.
פנים מבנה, חוץ מבנה, שטח מיוער, שטח סבוך, במקומות פתוחים, ואפילו בתת קרקע, אני יודע להשתמש ברחפן ובצורה מצוינת. יוד לוחם מיחידה מיוחדת. אני רוצה לספר לכם את הכלי הקטן הזה הציל לי ולחברים שלי את החיים בשדה הקרב. בעבר, לפני שהיה לנו את הכלי הזה, היינו נכנסים לבית, איתור, ושורקים בצורה מיושנת ומסכן את חיים. שורקים בצורה הרבה יותר רעילה, אנחנו ממש...
Yeah, Mossad, can you send me one of these drones, please?
אנחנו רואים את האם הבא.
I need one. What is that, a cat? Why is there a cat drone?
Charlie Kirk had planned to attend this summit.
Not any country born through war.
Jewish influencer Emily Austin.
I realized
that no other nation on earth is asked to justify their existence every single day. Not China, not Russia, not Turkey, not America, not any country born through war.
What is this? You have to fight for your existence. What are you talking about? You're not fighting for your existence. You're fighting to take Gaza.
Conflict, or the complicated history that defines every modern state. And yet Israel, the world's only Jewish state, the refuge for a people who survived exile, genocide, and statelessness, is uniquely and constantly placed on trial. I realized that no other nation on earth is asked to justify their existence every single day. Not China.
Okay, I think we have another. Here's Stella Escobedo. I think she works at, what is it? Newsmax? One America News.
Into silence. The world loves a weak. Don't let them gaslight us into silence.
Oh, yeah.
The world loves a weak Jew.
Dude, no, yeah, because what they're known for is being silent in the face of anti-Semitism. They're known for that. They're always like, it's time we stand up and stop being silent. Like, when were you silent?
Don't let them gaslight us into silence. The world loves a weak Jew. It's 2025.
You mean Jesus?
Don't let them.
The world loves a weak Jew. His name is Jesus. $7,000 has been updated into your account. Whenever I see some like pretty famous Jewish girl that's got a big show on some big network, and then I have more followers than her, it always gives me a little bit of hope.
Not Russia, not Turkey. Democracy, capitalism, the belief that. Let me make myself clear, and it took me a while to figure this out, but better late than never.
Okay, I don't want to hear it, actually. Don't want to hear it because it's too quiet. And we're at 3 hours and 13 minutes. We're going to pick up tomorrow and cover some of these last few tabs here and some other new stuff. Pope condemns rise of anti-Semitism as well. Oh, wait, I forgot. We still got more. Charlie Kirk, hold on. That'll be tomorrow. I want to see this real quick.
Over to those who. This is our country. This is our party. And this is our conservative movement.
Who is our Ben Shapiro? This is the Jews saying they own you. Are you kidding me? Our movement says you can't criticize Jews at all.
This is our country. This is our party.
Judeo-Christian
nation. Our
nation.
conservative movement. And I will not stand by while it is handed over to those who betray the most fundamental principles I have spent my entire life defending.
Judeo-Christian values and free speech.
Fuentes is absolutely 100% correct. There was one big problem for Tucker Carlson in all of this. Nick Fuentes is absolutely 100% correct. There was one.
I'm sure. What's the context of that? Obviously, something different. Okay, what else? Oh, we're going to listen to Shabbos Kestenbaum's remarks as well. We got to watch those as well. This is the last one, and then we'll close it out. Long show, didn't hit the goal, didn't even get to 2. I get it. It's Monday. It's a Monday morning show. I get it. But, I mean, look, come on. Who's out there that didn't chip in today? Come on.
Thank you. Not well-deserved introduction, but I really, really appreciate it. The one thing Noah forgot to say is
let's get a super chat. Let's get a super power chat for Shabbos Kestenbaum.
Single, so if you have Jewish granddaughters, just find me at the end. It's the real reason I do this.
Come on, dude, you're gay. Don't
that
lie.
No speaker in the 40-year history of the Republican-Jewish coalition has ever said, which is, I will keep my remarks short. That was a good joke. I'll say a second joke, which is I'm probably the only speaker in the 40-year Republican-Jewish coalition history to say that I voted for Bernie Sanders twice. I marched for Black Lives Matter. I marched at the Supreme Court when Roe v. Wade was overturned. I was a far leftist. So take it from me. I have some degree of credibility when I tell you that the Republican Party must ensure, U.S. conservatives must ensure that you do not give a single inch of your party to the crazies and the radicals within your base. You must defeat them, because what happens when you don't defeat them is you turn into the Democratic Party. So look, when I When I spoke here last year, again, as a registered Democrat, I decided to endorse President Trump as president. And since then, the promises that President Trump made on the campaign trail have become promises kept from the White House. I'm very proud to say that in literally less than 1 year, President Trump has cut billions of dollars in federal funding from anti-American universities like Harvard and Columbia and UCLA. President Trump has lawfully detained and legally deported foreign students who have violated American law in direct violation of their own student visa. President Trump has cracked down on diversity, equity, and inclusion programs on public universities. President Trump has taxed elitist university endowments to the highest level in American history. President Trump has established the Religious Liberties Commission, and it has just been barely 10 months. And as an activist on the front lines against campus indoctrination, I want to say something as explicitly and as clearly as I can, that any American student, Christian or Jew, who faces religious discrimination in the United States, they finally, for the first time in 5 years, have an ally in the White House, and that ally's name is President Donald J. Trump. But while there is much to celebrate, and I do mean that, there is much to celebrate, especially here at the RJC. You've been instrumental in ensuring these successes. To ensure the capitalization of these profound legislative and political successes, we must admit a very uncomfortable truth. I first met Charlie Kirk when I was backstage at the 2024 Republican Convention, and I confided into Charlie...
Shout out Beowulf and Gary for the donos. I don't know if this is sped up. No, this is YouTube. This is not sped up. It's normal playback speed. He's just on Ben Shapiro Talmudic cadence speed. They just talk fast because they got ultra verbal, haiku, Ashkenazi genius.
My anxieties about speaking before President Trump and the 40,000 people in the arena. And calmly and somewhat unexpectedly, Charlie put his arms on my shoulders and he said, Shabbos, so long as you tell the truth, you have nothing to be afraid of. So long as you tell the truth, you have nothing to be afraid of. As you can imagine, those words have really rung at the forefront of my mind these last few months. So let me state the truth, no matter how uncomfortable it may be. A few months before Charlie's assassination, Charlie was asked about inviting a noted anti-Semite who is not worth to say his name, but he was asked about inviting this individual to partake at a Turning Point USA conference. Charlie's response was as succinct as it was consistent, and I want to quote directly. He said, I don't align with Jew haters. I'm not going to put up with Jew hatred in the conservative movement, in the Republican Party, or anywhere in America. How shocked and how embarrassed and how appalled would Charlie be today to know that not even 2 months after his murder, nefarious actors within our own party would use his brutal assassination to advance their explicitly anti-American agenda and tarnish everything that Charlie worked so hard to fight against. I knew Charlie Kirk, and I was friends with Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk was a mentor. Charlie Kirk was someone who taught
we knew the Charlie Kirk conspiracies were going to be highlighted. We knew they were going to be brought up and used to show poor Jews, poor victims. How dare they're attacking his wife, spitting on his legacy, where he's rolling in his grave.
Millions of Gen Z American men, the importance of...
You did give me $10 to not listen to Kestenbaum. So...
And practice your religion, because in President Washington's own words, quote, bigotry will be in Mishnah Torah that...
Real time.
Because they generate this, likes and shares.
We're not doing the full speech. We're not doing the full speech. Thank you, everybody, for the support. Great show. Rough show, actually, to watch all this, but had to be done. Had to get up to speed. I hope you all watched, made it through it, and got up to speed on all the latest over the weekend at the another Jewish conference. I'll be back tomorrow, same time, 2 p.m. Eastern. Let me know what you think in the comments. Like, share, subscribe. And I'll see you tomorrow. So you guys have a nice night and take care.